What's good, guys? Welcome back to the Give and Go. Reynoso here with my boy.
Soltero, what's up, guys?
I'm a little sick today. I'm feeling a little sick, so I might sound a little nasally. But hopefully it's still a pleasurable experience for our folks. So, man, I've been wanting to talk football for so fucking long with you, man, because what these people don't know is that I see you on the daily, bro. I see you. Yeah. I go out with you. I drink with you.
Right.
And we play FIFA. Yeah. We go out on weekends.
We go bowling.
We go big bowling, big guys. But when we're doing all these things, I can't really touch on football because I want to save it for the show. I want to get your real reaction. I want it to be genuine and authentic. Yeah. So we're finally here seated, man. What a goddamn week, man. Yeah. What a goddamn week.
Hell of a week. I feel like we're going to say that every week.
Something about football this year, man.
There's something about football this year, man.
Yeah, literally, like I was watching another channel. And they were like, man, it feels like every day there's some piece of big news.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being this, like, dramatic, man. It's so chaotic now around, and I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah. This week specifically, I'm calling it the blowout week. Blowout fucking week. And here's why. Listen to these results.
America.
PSG 7.
Oh, yeah.
Lille 1.
Yeah.
Bayern 7. Bochum 0.
Yeah.
Braga. Where Diego Lainez is at?
Yeah.
5. Maritimo 0.
Yeah.
America 7. Cruz Azul 0. Santos 5. Pumas 1. And even Chivas got in on this shit.
Oh yeah, 4-0.
Chivas 4-0 against Newcastle, bro. That's correlated.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, man.
That's global.
Any of those results stand out to you this week?
Honestly, I'd say the one that surprised me the most was the America Cruz Azul one.
Yeah.
Simply because you really don't see 7 goals in a Liga MX game. You just don't see it. Not from one team. You see 4-3. You see 3-3. You see 5-2. You don't see 7-1.
Or even 6, man.
Yeah. Even that. Like that's pretty rare. And to do it in a Clásico, that's pretty insane for me, man. Yeah. So that one stood out the most out of all the blowouts this weekend.
Yeah, it was tough, especially if you're a Cruz Azul fan, because you had chances to stay in it. Yeah. Multiple times. There's a play where they hit the post twice, back to back, and I was like, oh, this is like this goal is demented right now. There's like a curse going on for Cruz Azul this specific game. Just one of those games where they can't get it. They can't get that final goal. They can't finish. Yeah. It just wasn't working for them. And America got the big dub.
Dude, that game was like a war zone because America was just firing.
Yeah.
Non-stop, bro.
Yeah.
And it's almost one of those things where it's like they almost used up all of their finishing in one game. Like the next game, it might be 0-0. Like they might have used it all up in that 90 minutes because, bro, they were not missing.
They were insanely clinical,
They were really clinical.
Henry Martin is looking insane,
Yeah,
bro.
he's looking good.
Sendejas coming through with the goal as well.
Yeah, Valdez, Dieguito Valdez, man. Everyone was just firing on all cylinders for America when it came to shots in front of goal. They were clinical.
Ridiculous. And I mean, you can say the same thing for PSG. PSG, who scored 8 seconds into their match against Lille, the quickest, I think it tied for the quickest goal in French football
soccer,
history. Pretty crazy set play. Yeah. Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi go on to just produce another masterclass where they all get involved on the beating of Lille. And I mean, real quickly, we didn't mention it last week, so I just want to bring it up now that, you know, we were asked about what we think about this rift between Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. And although I do think there's something there in terms of egos, I think a result like this just kind of shows you that when it comes time to perform on the pitch, these 3 class acts just show their class on full display, and they figure it out. They work together regardless of what's happening off the pitch.
Exactly. I actually tuned into this game, watched the whole thing.
Shit.
Watched the whole goddamn thing. And yeah, my ultimate takeaway from this was professionalism. Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi at the end of the day are professionals. And I know a lot of people were really, and maybe rightfully so, really harping on Mbappe. Yeah. Really saying, man, like, I don't like his character, good footballer, kind of giving that love towards Messi and Neymar. But the thing is, I feel like that narrative has been going along for a while.
That's true.
So I feel like it is easy to pick on Mbappe, especially when you have so much love and appreciation for 2 legends like Neymar and Messi. When you look at it, I can kind of get both sides, right? Mbappe, we've said it before, this is arguably maybe his team. As far as like the offensive line is concerned, how clinical he is, how efficient he is in front of goal, how deadly he is, and honestly, how fit he is.
That's my thing. Yeah,
that's the biggest thing is
fitness.
that Neymar just hasn't played a full season in a while. And then Messi just joined the team last year, so he's finally getting his gears going. But at the end of the day, it was a little penalty, a little farce there. But they talk it out, I'm sure. Maybe there's a little arguing. But that's the thing. Like, if you're on a team in any field, not even soccer, like engineering, any other team, you're going to have disagreements, man. Yeah. And this was just one of those things. It gets magnified because these are superstars, man. It's fun to talk about. Yeah. But at the end of the day, these guys are professionals, man. And what they showed out there against Lille, beautiful.
Swept them.
They swept them.
It was beautiful. Beautiful gameplay. Beautiful finishing.
Oh, dude, it was gorgeous, man.
They're looking so good. I'm telling you, man. They're looking so good. I'm jumping on this bandwagon early, bro. Choo. Hop aboard. Speaking of things people over amplify, maybe perhaps the heightening of drama, Manchester United.
Yeah.
Manchester United, I mean, we had like a 15-minute segment last episode where we spoke about their downfall, right? Yeah. Bad, grim. Uh-huh. They do two things between that episode and this episode. They sign Casemiro.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
And then today, they host Liverpool at Old Trafford, and they essentially put a beating on Liverpool. Liverpool lose 2-1, and Manchester United all of a sudden looks way more hopeful, looks way more just improved now than they ever did 7 days ago. were we over amplifying it? Is there something there? What's up with what's happening now? Is it just one game? Should we just chill?
Yeah, so here's my take on this. Old Trafford was rocking.
I legitimately haven't seen it like that in like 5 years, man.
I haven't heard it that loud in like 5 years either. It was electric in that stadium. And rightfully so. United were on the front foot. They were going at Liverpool, making Van Dijk and James Milner have a whole heated exchange. I haven't seen that. Not like that. And Van Dijk's just like, I got on that one. And it all culminated in ultimately United getting a big 3 points when they had lost the first two games. But I'm going to take a calm approach. At the end of those 90 minutes, I was like, wow, I'm very impressed. I was like, okay, this is great. This is good progress. United might be back. But after I simmered down for the next 30, 45 minutes, I was like, it's one game. It's one game against a injured and, as we kind of said before, maybe a less inspired Liverpool this season. Yeah. Something we maybe weren't expecting. I don't think a lot of people were. But this Liverpool team has gone up to a weird start. They've gone up to a really shaky start.
It's really weird.
So for me, it's not like United play hot Arsenal. It's not like they played against an aggressive Tottenham side. It's not like United got this big 3 points against a feisty Brighton side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got it against a down on their luck, shaky start Liverpool. So that's why I'm not going to get carried away. I'm not going to get carried away. I need to see 2-3 more games of this squad. Let's see what happens. But on the day, over the course of these 90 minutes against Liverpool, United were fantastic. I'll give them that.
I have the same approach with them signing Casemiro. I have the same approach of let's not get carried away.
Okay.
It's because a week ago we were all clowning Manchester United. Everyone, even Manchester United fans themselves, were just sending Ten Hag out, Glazers out. Yeah. And then arrives Casemiro like a shiny brand new toy. And all of a sudden they forget all of that, and all that shift focuses over to him now. And I mean, you got people saying that he's gonna be the savior for the squad. And on one side, I do kind of see that view because it's what they needed the most. For the past year, I've been saying that they need a center defensive mid. They need a good six. Yes. And who do they sign? Probably one of the top 3 center defensive mids in the world of football. I think it's Casemiro, Rodri, and Fabinho, and they just rotate based off of form. I think those 3 dominate that side of the game. Manchester United gets their guy, but I'm not fully confident yet in how Casemiro fits into the system as a whole. I don't know how he's going to operate in this Ten Hag system. I do know that he is a vastly better improvement than Scott McTominay.
Yeah.
I do know that he'll provide much better reliability than someone like perhaps Fred. But I'm just not sure if he's the guy or if he's the last piece needed to take this Manchester United back to those old ways, back to that top 4 type of finish. I don't know if it's there yet, but I do think this is a solid move and it's good. And I'm happy that they did it, but let's not get carried away.
Yeah. I can actually kind of see your point because at Madrid, Casemiro had two of the world's greatest technicians alongside him with Cruz and Modric, right? So he had a lot of freedom as far as maybe getting out of position to go retrieve a ball. But that's the thing, Casemiro's really good at it. So he, the coach and the players around him have that faith in Casemiro to be aggressive, especially in that defensive possession when they need to be aggressive. What'll be interesting is how does Ten Hag use the midfielders around Casemiro when he comes in? Because what Ten Hag did today is he dropped Eriksen down alongside McTominay in the center of the park. Whereas in the previous case before, he kind of tried to play Eriksen in a more attacking position. Yeah. But I like that move because at the end of the day, Eriksen has excellent skill on the ball. So whether you need him to be more attack-minded or maybe just more distribution-minded, more conservative and more focused on just rotating the ball to get players off the ball to make runs or maybe make cuts inside, Eriksen can do that. He doesn't have to be an attacking midfielder. The idea to draw Eriksen deep I thought was a really good move by Ten Hag, and it worked. The thing is, if Casemiro can find that partnership with Eriksen as the two central midfielders for Manchester United, this might work. This actually might be a good signing. At the end of the day, all that'll happen is McTominay and Fred just go to the bench. Mm-hmm. And they'll just come in, super sub or rotation in the cup games. And the two starting midfielders I could see at the center would be Eriksen and Casemiro. Yeah. I think that would make the most sense because, as you said, at the end of the day, even if he doesn't have Kroos or Modric next to him, Casemiro is one of the best defensive midfielders on the planet. So whether he fits into this team or not, he still has a lot of benefits to give to this Man United team. I'm going to go ahead and give this signing like an A+. I think it's a good signing because, as you stated at the beginning of this whole session, they needed a defensive midfielder badly. So getting Casemiro, I think that's pretty good. Yeah. I think it's just annoying they waited so long and they still haven't gotten De Jong. And I think they will.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And it's just so stupid because it's like, well, if you're not going to get De Jong, then just get Casemiro earlier. Shore this shit up earlier, man. I'm tired of that. Yeah. But, hey, they got it done. They got the midfielder that they wanted. At the end of the day, as far as skill level is concerned. Yeah. So, for me, good signing.
Yeah, and I think one thing I learned today is that outside of the implementation of a reliable central defensive midfielder, what's more important for Manchester United is the implementation of a philosophy, an approach. Because what we saw today was a Manchester United team that believed in Ten Hag, that believed in his system, and that believed in each other. I have not seen Manchester United play with that much energy and confidence, dude, in like a good half a decade. It was ridiculous to see how out of nowhere, following this awful, horrific loss to Brentford 4-0, where they got absolutely embarrassed,
walloped,
shambolic. Usually I don't see teams respond like this, man.
Yeah.
They responded with a belief like no other. I don't know what Ten Hag was saying to them this week in the build-up to this game, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. And I genuinely was taken aback by it. I'm like, oh, shit. Ten Hag really proved me wrong here. Kind of shut me up a bit because this is exactly what I would have hoped for following the 4-0 defeat. If I was a Manchester United fan, this is what you would want. This is the best case scenario, is beating a Liverpool squad who, yes, is a little bit down on their luck, but it's still a solid and strong Liverpool squad
team. Yeah.
To still have shining moments like Jadon Sancho dropping Milner and then freezing Van Dijk, dropping Alisson as well, open net. To have Marcus Rashford finally show up on the score sheet after half a season of appearances. All that is positive, and all that builds towards something. So maybe this is the performance they need to get out of that deep-ass hole that they dug themselves in.
Well, what do you think about Liverpool, man? What did you see out there? Just,
Yeah, it's...
what would you see?
It's just very reminiscent of that season where we had so many injuries. It's two things for me. Yeah. Two things. And I think one of them really reflects what a lot of the Liverpool community believe is that we did need another midfield signing. Okay. We shored up the offensive line with the Darwin Núñez signing, which was huge for us. And defensively, we've also shown that we at least have some reliability back there with Van Dijk usually being very healthy, very fit. Yeah. And then Matip and Gomez rotating out that center back's position. It's not really back there where I'm concerned, but it's in the midfield, man. Because, the starting lineup of Milner, Henderson, Elliott, to me, two of those three guys can be rotated out. And when you're competing against the likes of De Bruyne, Silva, and Rodri for the title, that ain't going to cut it, man. Yeah. At all.
Yeah.
You need players like Fabinho, Thiago, Naby Keita, Where are all three of them, man? Thiago's injured. Keita's like not fit apparently.
He's never fit.
Yeah,
though.
he's never fit
He's
though.
Never fit.
He's never fit.
Yeah.
And then Fabinho's kind of coming off of a rocky start to the season as well.
Yeah,
it's really interesting to see what's happening to the Liverpool squad, but it really shows you how important that midfield is to the overall engine that is Liverpool's insane unit.
Yeah,
but it kind of shows how fickle this Liverpool squad is when things don't go right.
When one crucial player leaves or is injured, and you think about it, man, that experience of Mane, who he's gonna fight.
Yeah.
For the course of 90 minutes, Mane would just go at players, even if he's having a bad game.
Yeah.
And you all of a sudden you don't even have that option. Gone. So
yeah, that part that does sadden me, especially today. I really felt his presence missing today.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I really felt it. And what does bother me the most about Liverpool is that we've gone through this where injuries racked up for us, and that was the excuse from all Liverpool fans, including myself, that season that we were just like, hey, we were injured.
Yeah, like
and
rightly
so.
Starting center backs out.
Yeah, the
That's
center back situation, and then up front, a lot of injuries as well. But we should have learned from that. We can't use that same excuse now.
Yeah.
We can't say the same thing, and it sucks because we've been spending money in the transfer market, but maybe it wasn't in the right places. Yeah. I'm a little disappointed in this start now.
Yeah,
I know last week I wasn't as scared, but this was actually a big game for me where I was like, okay, we need to get these three points. Yeah. Manchester United is down on the ropes right now. Yeah. Finish them off, and the complete opposite happened.
Yeah. United looked like Liverpool.
Yeah. I hope that by next month we can start to see these players get back into the rotation, and maybe then the Liverpool of old comes back up, and this can all be chalked up to just a slow start to the season.
Yeah, because I will say, out of all the players on the injury list, most of them are, couple weeks, maybe a month or two. None of them are like 6 months to the rest of the season, right? So you're right. Maybe you have a shaky 5-6 games, which is a lot. But
hey, maybe it
comes back.
Maybe it ain't our season for the league. Maybe it's just Champions League this year.
Yeah.
Let's stay in the Premier League, and let's stay on the topic of managers.
Oh, okay.
Because for like the past year or two, the term Graham Potter has become like a buzzword for me. Where that last name of Potter is starting to get associated with like tactical genius, with next one up.
Innovation.
The new kid on the block.
Yeah.
And I've been keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
Right? I kind of just keep in my peripheral vision, seeing what he's been doing with Brighton these past couple of seasons and seeing that it's been really good, right? I've been pleasantly surprised. I'm like, okay, sure. There might be something there. Well, I saw the game of Brighton against West Ham.
Oh, okay.
Right. And Brighton, once again, got a sound victory over a West Ham team that is also off to a very, very disappointing
start for
really
West
bad
Ham,
start,
man.
And while watching the game, I was like, man, let's look into this Potter guy. Let's do it.
Sure.
Finally, you know what? I'm gonna give this guy the attention that
deep dive on Graham Potter.
Let's do a deep dive on Graham Potter. I'm like, where did he come from?
Yeah.
Right? Graham Potter, he coached in Sweden for 8 years. He started coaching in 2011, where he coached 4th Division squad Östersund.
Okay.
By 2015, he had them promoted to the 1st Division.
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Dope.
First time in that club's history that they had ever been in the top flight. So huge. That's already that'd be if I was coaching, that's all I achieved.
That'd be pretty damn good.
That'd be pretty damn good. Did that in the World Cup's time, 4 years. Apparently during his time there, while he was coaching the Swedish squad, his antics and his way of coaching his team really became apparent in, I guess, footballing culture, with players stating that he would have them perform in theatrical and musical productions to get them out of their comfort zone and to improve their play on the field.
Oh, like not be in your head, essentially.
Yeah. The idea
just
of
be
being
free.
on a stage. Yeah. Because we've associated football to just
entertainment.
Man.
True.
And
they're entertainers, footballers.
So, fully dive into that role. Interesting. Interesting stuff, right? They went to the top flight, and I think the 2 seasons that he was there, the first season they finished like in 8th place. Second time it was either 5th or 10th.
Okay.
But the biggest thing that they managed to do was they managed to win the League Cup in 2017.
Oh,
the
wow.
Swedish League Cup. And through that victory, they qualified for the Europa League qualification stages into the group stage, right?
Okay.
And so they had to win 3 different rounds to get into the group stage, which they did.
Wow.
They go to the group stage, and they actually tied against Athletic Bilbao for first in the group. Athletic Bilbao had the better goal differential, so they got second. So Graham Potter's already in the Europa League somehow with this Swedish squad, right? Just guiding his boys there. They then get knocked out in the knockout stages of the Europa League by Arsenal, but they had won their first game against them 2-1. They then lost 4-2 in the next match.
That's fair.
Happens. But it was through that performance that England came calling, right?
Come back home.
England was like, well, okay, let's get our boys back home. You're right. Let's get them back home. Swansea specifically. In 2018, Swansea calls him up to come coach the squad that's in the championship at this time.
Right.
And during his time there, he didn't do anything overly impressive in the league outside of implementing a really influential playing style. There's a stat that during his time in the championship, Swansea had the most passes per 90 minutes in the whole league.
Okay.
So that kind of gives you an idea of like, okay, he was implementing a style of football.
Yeah.
The most fascinating thing he did there was that he took Swansea to the FA Cup quarterfinals, and they faced off against Manchester City, which you remember, this was a matchup that I remember talking to you about when it happened. They went up 2-0 on Man City. In the last 20 minutes, Man City scores 3 goals with the Sergio Aguero winner. Man City wins, they progress, but Potter once again.
Impressed. At the very least.
Did a lot with what he had, right? So Brighton comes knocking, right? They're knocking on the door. Hey, Premier League squad Brighton knocking on the door now. Hey, is Potter home? And Swansea, based off of this analogy, was like, no. Swansea didn't want to let go of Potter. They wanted to keep Potter. Like,
really?
Yeah.
They actually saw him being a guy that could build this team over the course of 5 years or something.
They saw the potential. And And they even went so far as to offer Graham Potter the highest wage in the championship for a coach.
God.
Just begging him to stay.
So then what happened?
I think Potter finally was like, hey, man, like, it's my time. It's my time to go. Right?
Yeah, Brighton, it makes sense. It's Prem.
It's Premier League. He's done a lot of work leading up to this. And he, alongside all of his staff from the Swansea team, move over to Brighton.
Yeah.
And he joins Brighton in 2019. And what proceeds is pretty impressive once I looked into it. Their first season, they accumulated a record-breaking, franchise-breaking, club-breaking point tally of 41 points in the Premier League.
Okay.
And then they backed that by doing the same exact thing the following season. 41 points again. And then after that, the third season for Potter was this past season, where he once again broke the point tally record by accumulating 51 points throughout the whole season.
Well, Brighton had that hot start last year. And honestly, they started great this year. Man. Maybe even better. Maybe not record-wise, but I think they're actually playing better right now than they played last year.
And so that's what I'm getting at, is that just like that wizard from the fucking movies, Potter's the chosen one, man.
He can do no wrong.
He can do no fucking wrong, dude. I'm on board.
He hasn't. Yeah, you're right. He hasn't truly had a bad year in management.
Yeah, every year there's been progression. Every year he's been working towards something more.
Wow.
And I'm just like, when does it stop? You know, there's people talking about him potentially replacing Southgate either before or after the World Cup, but being the next big guy for England's national squad.
He'd look good coaching England, man. He'd look really good.
Or, you know, there was an opening with when Manchester United was looking for a manager. People were mentioning his name as well as potentially that team. But it's just interesting because you see how he started off this season. Brian lost crucial pieces, man. Yeah. You would think to the average manager, those are big pieces. And Cucurella, Bissouma, just gone. And what he's done now with what he has, I mean, you can just see it in, like you said, like in how they play. Yeah. There's something special about the style of play and the way that each player just buys into the system. He maximizes their positions. He makes the most of them. And they just got this fight in them, man, because they do it to Manchester United. They do it at West Ham, and then they get a tie against Newcastle. Not a single loss yet, unbeaten. Mm-hmm. And it's just a great, great start. Yeah. And so I'm just like, man, hats off to you, Graham Potter, man. Like, I am on board. This guy's the next big thing for me, man. Yeah,
what has impressed me so much about Brighton has been their scouting. Getting Potter, and I guess credit to him because he does have a very specific style. He searches for very dynamic players, but he's on a budget. So he gets, for every dollar he spends, he makes the most out of it, man. Because the players that he has, Alexis McAllister, Trossard, Moises Caicedo now, who's finally coming onto the scene, and they had scouted him a couple years ago from Ecuador, which was
insane. Yeah,
insane to get.
He's only 20 right now, so that means he was like 17 when he was like, I want that guy.
Exactly. And he understood the potential. And he was there last year, like with the bench, never really got minutes, but now he's featuring starting every game. And that just shows you how good of a coach Potter is, because he doesn't waste time. If he wants a player, he brings him in, and he's going to be a part of that squad. Yeah. And then, they had players like Marc Cucurella, Ibisuma. Again, just great scouting system at Brighton. That's what's really impressed me, because they just get these players that are so dynamic, then play really, really well together, and it just fits this fluid style of football that Potter likes to play. And I'm so happy that it actually culminates into success.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually working. It's not like when Swansea had that one really good year in the Premier League, and they were playing fluid football, dazzling, having high octane offensive football, and then it just really petered out like pretty quickly. But Brighton, man, they've been able to maintain a good level of play, and right now it only looks like they're getting better. And again, I guess credit to Potter, because that has to be what it is. Yeah. An excellent coach, and you're right. We got to start giving him more credit. Not that he isn't getting any, but let's give him that credit, and let's keep an eye on him for sure.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed, man. So impressed. And, hey, I personally would like to see him in the England national squad. Yeah. I would like that to be his next move, man.
Yeah, that'd be insane. But I want to, low-key now, I want to see what he could do with his Brighton team. Like, what is the peak Brighton? Is it like 5th place? Which would be insane.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be insane.
Any sort of top 6.
Yeah, any sort of top 6.
Invasion would be ridiculous.
And I just want to see him reach that peak with Brighton, and then he can go wherever the hell he wants to. I just want to see peak Brighton under Graham Potter. Show me what that looks like, and then I'll be happy. Let's go and start with the Tottenham Wolves game.
Oh,
We had Tottenham Hotspur play against the Wolverhampton Wanderers. And a couple takeaways. I'll start with Wolves.
Yep.
First takeaway, and it's one that you actually mentioned last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. Truly, Wolves do not have a finisher whatsoever.
Man, I want to print out on a shirt like this could
Wolves can't finish.
Wolves can't finish, bro. This is like one of the things I'm going to be saying the whole season, man.
Yeah, and it's insane because it's not to say they don't have talented players. Podense, Aitnuri as wing back. You have Pedro Neto, the new signing Mateus Nunes. You have all of these players who are offensive-minded. Hwang Hee-chan off the bench.
Gonzalo
Guedes now. You have, which is, again, a good signing. Yeah. They have good players, very talented.
Neves,
very offensive-minded. But when it comes to actually putting the ball into the back of the net, none of them actually have that quality. They're all good dribblers. They're all good passers. They're all good footballers. They can build a play. Actually, that's one thing I will praise about this Wolves team. Their build a play is actually good. It's fantastic. Yeah. They know how to build a play, and they can do it against anybody. Problem is, it ends there. They have no one to go to at the end of said play to actually shoot and finish. And the only guy that they do have is Raul Jimenez, and actually, he's great. Jimenez unfortunately just keeps getting these knocks. He keeps getting these little knocks that, keeps him out of the game for a couple of weeks, and then he comes back in, tries to find his fitness. But I think, in my opinion, when Jimenez is fit, he's fantastic. He's excellent.
Yeah, especially in that Wolves system, man.
Especially in that Wolves system. He just understands it really well. Again, there's so many midfielders behind him. He's going to be fed. And Jimenez can take those chances. He is a good finisher. But if Jimenez is having a bad game, or if he's not playing due to an injury, Wolves literally have no backup. They have no response to when Jimenez is not playing. And ultimately, it bites them bad, man, because it's yet again another game where Wolves play well and lose, or don't get the result that they probably should have deserved.
Yeah, and this is a big one where they could have gotten a point out
They could have gotten a point at the very least. Yeah. And again, their movement is great. And I would say the bigger takeaway I have, for me, Ruben Neves, man, one of the best facilitators of the ball, I think, in the league. Specifically facilitation. The way he knocks that ball around, He can basically do it all from the center of the field. He's a quarterback, essentially. If you needed to fling a ball over 3 defenders, he can do it. You need to do a cross-field switch, he can do it. You need him to do little 1-2s tight football, Ruben can do it. You need him to get offensively involved, be a threat from 20-plus yards out, Ruben Neves can do it.
That in him.
And a through ball, incisive passing, Ruben Neves can do it. As a passer, he is excellent. And that's the thing. When you need a player like that, he's excellent. But again, he doesn't have really anyone to go to. That's the thing. Sure, he can go out wide to Neto or Adama Traore off the bench. He can do that, and he can find them in space, and they go at it. But again, it ends there. Yeah. They cross it in, nobody's there. They try to find a play, interconnect with somebody, they get a shot off, they don't have the ability or the finesse to actually finish it.
Yep.
So Wolves are in a really sticky situation, I think, because, again, they have such good players. Again, I think Guedes and Núñez from Valencia and Sporting, respectively, excellent signings because they're very offensive-minded. And Guedes actually had a great game. He was going at Davinson Sanchez, just going at him, being a nuisance, driving, penetrating, looked good. But he's never been a finisher. He's never been a guy that's going to score, hell, even 5 goals a season. That's not what he does. He penetrates, he wreaks havoc, and that's it. Wolves badly need another finisher alongside Raul Jimenez. Yeah. And they're hoping that Mateus Núñez is that guy. Not sure if he will be, but they're really banking on him being that guy. Man,
that's even if he's not, that's a lot of pressure to put on Raul, man.
Oh, it's a lot, bro.
It's way too big of a responsibility to put on one player.
One player, bro.
I know he will thrive and he'll continue succeeding like he has been, but they need that backup. They need that person they can rely on outside of Raul Jimenez. And it's funny, man, because they're relentless, man. They're relentless in how they play. They've made good moves everywhere outside of the striker position.
Yes.
And it's so funny because they become their name, man. Once they got to start finishing, Wolves start wandering.
Yeah, man.
And so I'm just like, God damn, man. Like, fix this shit. And it's the reason it bothers me so much is because the finishing is legitimately atrocious.
It's
bro.
bad.
You watch the highlights, you watch the shots. It's really bad finishing. Not even on target half the time.
Oh, half the
time.
And
this game represented that fully. I remember watching. I was like, holy shit, man. These guys can't even put the ball like within Lloris's range. It's just being skyrocketed.
Yeah. For me, I think Ruben Neves has been at this team for 5 years now. They picked him out when he was young, and Wolves were still in the championship. They said, hey, Ruben, we got a project here. We're going to get you to the Prem. Come play for us in the second div, and you'll be a star. And I think he's been loyal. He's done that. He got them to the Premier League with them. He's played in the Premier League for these past couple years. He's been the go-to central midfielder for this team. I think it's time for Ruben to go to a better team. I think he has the skill level. He has the know-how to basically fit into any system. I want to see Neves at a better team. And I think he's run his course for Wolves. Sorry. But I think he would go off at a team that really needs like a facilitator, man. A guy underneath an offensive line that just stays deep and spreads balls.
Put him on Arsenal.
Yeah, no.
Put him on Arsenal. Replace Xhaka with him.
Hell, even United could have used him.
Oh, yeah.
United could have really used that. Put him underneath Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo, Sancho, Sancho Elanga, Rashford, man. Neves would have a field day with a team like United. And he gets the job done for Wolves, but there's no end product. Yeah. You put Neves on a better team, he will go off. So I want to see that. So for me, I hope this is Neves' last year, bro, at Wolves, and I want to see him in a better team. That's my last takeaway on Wolves, man. I hope it doesn't
end up being the last year of Wolves in the Prem, man, because right now they're in that danger
I don't know how
zone.
they're going to score, bro.
That's the thing.
I don't know how they're going to score.
That's the thing. And even if when Raul Jimenez comes back, like, I'm talking, we need a multitude of goals here.
As for Tottenham, so far, I feel like they've played at the same level every game so far this season. They have a lot of fight in them. They have they're relentless. They do not let up on both sides of the pitch, defensive and offensive. But it's not scintillating football. Not yet. It's not maybe what we had hoped, knowing that Conte's been here for a while. He had a whole preseason, a whole offseason. He brought in some pieces, Richarlison to note. And I don't think Tottenham have gotten into full gear yet. I don't think they're firing on all cylinders yet. And this yet again for me was another game where Tottenham looked very good. They looked dominant, probably deserved the win, but they didn't dazzle. They didn't dazzle, not the way that City has, not the way that Arsenal has. Hell, even Chelsea's, for me, has had more maybe dynamic moments, if you will. I will say the biggest thing for me about Tottenham is that backline is solid. Really, really solid. It's going to be really tough to beat. It's going to be tough to beat this Tottenham team just off of goals alone. But I kind of question it going into this season, man. It's the same front three: Kane, Son, and Kulusevski. And for me, my take was they haven't proven themselves to be a dynamic offensive line. They can score, especially off the set pieces. Harry Kane's one of the best finishers. You give him a chance, he's going to score. But I don't know. For some reason, I thought that Tottenham would give me a little bit more. A little bit more. And I think I won't even criticize the offensive. Like, I think for me, it goes down to those two central midfielders of Højbjerg and Bentancur. I don't think they're offensive-minded enough. And there was one moment in this game specifically where Højbjerg gets the ball. They're on the counter. They're breaking. He has, I think, one guy to his right, two guys to his left. It's like 4 against 3, 4 against 2. They have the numbers. Ivan Perisic wide on the left, wide open. Højbjerg never sees him. And eventually, a Wolves player catches up and steals the ball.
Damn.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing. That's not Højbjerg's game. I don't blame him in that moment because that's not what he does. He's not an attacking midfielder. He's not looking for a through ball. Mm-hmm. It's just not his game. So ultimately, I think that's going to hurt Tottenham, man, in the long run as far as title contention is concerned. I think that non-dynamic midfield that they lack ultimately, I think it's going to hurt them. Because, I don't know. When you're playing against teams like Arsenal, Man City, they have it all on all ends. They have a solid defensive line. They have dynamic midfielders, but they also have defensive midfielders. And then they cap it all off with an insanely talented offensive line. Tottenham almost have that.
Almost.
I think they do lack a certain amount of creativity when it comes to their midfield play.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with the midfield take. Offensively, I don't think they're struggling. 7 goals in 3 games. I think they're perfectly fine offensively. But we won't see the ultimate dynamic version of that offense without, like you said, a good midfield that you can rely on offensively. That ain't there. But the reason I'm not that bothered by it is because they're getting results.
They are, and that's what's confusing me.
They're getting results.
Yeah.
And so even though you're left wanting more, maybe it's a good thing that you think this team can actually has a higher ceiling than what they're doing right now. Because some teams will get the results and you'll be like, oh, this is the most they can do. But Tottenham, you're already seeing room for improvement, areas where they can get better in. And you're seeing ways in which they can maximize their talents and their roles. And that could potentially lead to them becoming a team somewhat like Manchester City. They're on their way there. Yeah. I think Tottenham might get to that Arsenal level later on in the season. I think Arsenal just got there quicker, man. Holy shit.
For sure.
Because, they got a great system in place, and we'll talk about them later. But Tottenham is on their way there, and so I'm not concerned yet as long as they're getting the results.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up because my ultimate takeaway from this game, as far as my Tottenham perspective is concerned, is that maybe I need to rethink how I think this Tottenham team plays. Yeah, because maybe I'm expecting something like Arsenal. Maybe I'm expecting something like a peak Chelsea. Maybe I'm expecting something like a Man City, right?
Yeah.
But maybe they're never going to be that. Maybe they're going to be Antonio Conte's Tottenham Hotspur team. A whole different style, a whole different brand of football. And as you said, it gets results. It may not be exactly what I think it should be, right? By maybe adding in a dynamic attacking midfielder. Maybe Conte doesn't want one. Maybe he thinks it wouldn't suit his style of football. And I actually could see that, especially knowing the way that Conte likes to play. Conservative at the back, but has ruthless finishers up top. It can get the job done. I mean, he did it for years with Juventus, kind of with a very similar system, if you think about it, when you look at the personnel he had back in Italy. So come to think of it, when I think about it like that, maybe this is the version of Tottenham that's going to be very, very successful. It just might not be to my personal liking.
Yeah, so fuck you, man.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my ultimate takeaway, is that I just have to rethink how I view this Tottenham team. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to be open-minded here. Absolutely.
Yeah, because if the results were opposite of that, then you would have right in thinking like that. But because he's doing it, man, I'm just like, there's something there that we don't know yet. And so Sometimes you just gotta be open to it and see what happens. One squad that's really pissing me off, bro. Squad that's really pissing me off, man, is fucking Chelsea, dude. And here's why. I refuse, and I've accepted this now. I've accepted it after this week. I have accepted it. This is fact for me. There's no way that Pulisic, Havertz, Sterling, Mount, Ziyech, there's no way that these guys should be struggling as much as they are right now to score a goddamn goal, man. Bro. And you know who I'm putting this on? I'm putting it on genius tactician Tuchel, man. Dude. Something ain't right in his system, man. Yeah. There's a leak. There's a leak in his in the twos, man. Something ain't right. Because how is it that these talented offensive players that cost millions, are unable to find the back of the net as often as the defenders are? Koulibaly getting on the score sheet.
Koulibaly getting on the score sheet.
Reece James getting on the score sheet.
Yeah.
What is it with this shit, man? And now they go to Ellen Road to face off against Leeds, and nothing. Zilch.
Man.
Nothing. There's nothing inspiring there offensively. They can't find the back end. They're struggling to score goals against Leeds, which I respect highly. But just the idea of these players being so talented and unable to find opportunities and get that finishing accomplished. I mean, we were hopping on Wolves for the finishing, but Chelsea's nearly as bad in some cases, man. I'm just getting kind of tired of this. I'm getting tired of the idea that Chelsea needs to sign that killer striker to solve their issues,
because they shouldn't need his.
I don't think their issues are. I don't think the issues are up front. I think it's tactically. Okay. I think the way that Tuchel is setting this team up isn't beneficial to those players specifically. Instead, it benefits the wingbacks a lot, and in some weird cases, the center backs for some reason. They just fucking thrive on it.
They find space off set pieces for sure.
Rudiger was a monster last year, scoring long range goals for Chelsea as well. It's really weird how that happens. And so I'm on Tuchel's ass right now, man.
Yeah.
I'm on his head, dude.
That's actually a good take, because now, if you want to make that comparison, it's actually very similar to Wolves now that you think about it, because you have a lot of diminutive second forwards, if you will. Like you said, Sterling, Havertz, Pulisic, even add in Ziyech if you want to. Mason Mount to an extent too. None of these guys are necessarily direct wingers. None of these guys are direct forwards. None of these guys especially are number 9s. And so at the end of the day, you have good footballers, but it's leading to nothing. So I guess the only person you could blame is the manager, because he's just not setting them up correctly. Yeah. It's either that or it's a mental thing. Something's going on with this Chelsea squad that maybe is just going on behind the scenes. Maybe there is a rift between the players and how Tuchel's trying to coach them. Something's off. You're right. Something is off, because the team should be firing on all cylinders, because they've been playing with each other for so long.
Yeah.
The only really new addition is Sterling. That's it.
Yeah.
And so, like, as far as an offensive unit is concerned, this is close to the same team that won the Champions League.
Yeah.
It really is, though.
Yeah.
And so it is shocking that all of a sudden they can't find the back of the net. I don't know what it is. For me, I'm just going to blame mentality as far as going into the season, not really getting anybody, losing Lukaku, losing Werner, maybe losing a little bit of faith in the manager, because Tuchel just couldn't get either of them going. He just couldn't. So I don't know. It's definitely a mental lapse going on at Chelsea.
Yeah, but Leeds, bro.
Yeah.
Leeds, man.
That one just made me happy, man.
Oh, my God.
I was just so happy to see Leeds, first of all, at home, that beautiful crowd, and then just go off on Chelsea, man. Yeah. It was beautiful to see. Put a goddamn smile on my face.
Yeah.
It really
was so
did.
Energetic. It was so raucous over there, man.
Yeah.
I love how Ellen Road gets when they're high on themselves like that. Holy shit, man. It's an atmosphere. And it's funny because Aronson looks like he could be one of the fans in the stands.
Bro, he's so passionate.
He's so fucking
he
passionate.
Cares so
he looks
much.
like he was just called upon mid-game. Like, that's the most hype fan we have. Come on
Put
down
him
and play
on.
for us.
Yeah.
And you see the goal he generated was just straight out of the
hustle.
Straight hustle. Aggression. Straight want. And just wanting to just get that ball. Just trying it out to see what happens. Mendy just shook.
He got.
Got.
Yeah.
Man. Steals the ball and just open net.
I love the way Jesse Marsch celebrated that goal, man. Yeah. That meant everything to him, because he told Brendan, don't stop running.
Yeah.
Don't stop running. And it culminated into a goal.
That's true.
A goddamn
that
goal.
Kind of shit, that kind of shit starts off with the coach right there.
Yeah, that starts off with the coach.
It's a philosophy goal.
Yeah.
But also, I think what it meant for Jesse Marsch, I mean, He was criticized a lot for being signed by Leeds to be the next head coach. And he was under a lot of pressure right off the bat, trying to get this team out of relegation right when he got hired, getting them out of that situation, and then to have them here now where they haven't lost a game yet.
Bro, they have 7 points.
7 points, man.
Yeah,
that's really, really impressive. And I saw that come to fruition for Jesse Marsch. He's like, thank God I'm already not having to worry about relegation.
Yeah,
you know?
man. Yeah.
I get to be comfy for a while.
Now he gets, instead of focusing on like, what am I doing wrong? He's like, all right, how can we get better, and how we can get 3 more points? Yeah. That's such a different dynamic to think about, man.
Different. And you have players like Rodrigo with firing, like a hot start to the season. I think he's already on 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah, I think he has 4 goals, man.
I was looking at his stats, man. I had no idea he was already 31.
Oh yeah, no, he was
crazy, bro.
Most of his career has been with Valencia.
Yeah.
And he had such a good career in Spain that I thought him going to Leeds, he would score a lot, but his play was good, but he wasn't really scoring. Not the way that he used to back with Valencia. He's gotten off to such a good start this season, man. Such a good start.
Yeah.
But Leeds in general, man, one thing that hit me, actually last week when I was watching them, 4 MLS-based staff involved on this team. So you have Jesse Marsch, New York Red Bull coach, now coaching Leeds United. On the pitch, you have Philadelphia Union, Brendan Aronson.
Yep.
You have New York City FC, Jack Harrison.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then you have New York Red Bull, Tyler Adams.
Yeah.
So 4 MLS-based people all being completely participant in Leeds United.
Wow.
That's insane.
MLS babies.
4.
Damn.
That's a lot, man.
That's a lot. I mean,
yeah. Imagine if that happened with Liga MX.
I was just thinking.
Imagine.
Is there even anything close to that right now in Europe for Liga MX?
I don't think so. Not close to that, man.
Nah.
Not like that.
Nah, not even 2. Hey, did you know Javier Aguirre is at Mallorca right now?
I saw that. he coaches the most random Spanish teams.
Yeah.
He really likes coaching over there.
Yeah.
He loves it.
And they like him a lot too.
They
from
do.
What I've seen.
Like when there's a vacant spot, he's probably like one of the go-to. If it's a mid-table team, he's like one of the go-to managers.
Yeah.
And he just rotates between them.
Yeah.
He loves that shit. The other Premier League game I caught, dude, this weekend was Manchester City against Newcastle United.
Oh, shit. What'd you think?
One of the most entertaining games I've watched in months.
Fuck.
Dude, I sat down and I blinked like twice and the game was over. It went by that quick. I was that entertained.
Holy shit.
Dude, it was one of the most high octane end-to-end games of football I've seen in a long time. So I just want to thank Newcastle United, Manchester City,
the Premier League, man,
for entertaining.
Good product right there. The owner of the Premier League is like, that's a good product.
It's a
my product's doing good right now.
Yeah. If you're part of that Premier League board, you're like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we're the best league in the world, because Newcastle United just took it to Manchester City, bro. It's an incredible game. City got off the board in the first 5 minutes, and at that point, I was like, it's over. Yeah. Because after they had scored, beautiful cross from Bernardo Silva, excellent finish by guess who, Gundogan, one of the most like sneaky midfielders in the box that you can imagine, man. He just finds his way every time. And at that point, City just kept going. I was like, they're going to get a second. They're going to get a second, and it's going to be over by the 15th. But Newcastle responded like no other.
Callum Wilson, wasn't it?
It was...
the first goal was Almiron.
Yeah, the first goal was Almiron, but even prior to that, it's like they didn't get scored on. It's like they weren't playing against Manchester City. They're like, we're Newcastle United. We're here at St. James's Park. Let's go off. Let's play our football. And bro, Alan St. Maximin went off.
He's a dog.
He went off, man.
He's a dog, man.
I've never seen him play a better game. Every touch he had on the ball, every dribble he had was beneficial to the whole of his squad.
Damn.
Yeah.
He
was just nonstop penetrating, but he's one of those players that's actually faster with the ball than without it. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. The top speeds that he gets when he has the ball at his feet are remarkable, man.
I love how direct he is,
He's so direct.
He's not shy about it.
No. And that's the thing. Like, he just went at Kyle Walker. He just went at him. He did not care. He just cut inside. And I love the way he plays, too, because when he knows he has just a little bit of space, he points to where he wants the ball, And then the midfielders give it to him. He's like,
he
right
is
here,
very,
right
very
here.
physical with
Dude,
it.
he's so physical with the way he
tells you where he
plays.
wants to. Goddamn, but yeah, you're right. I noticed that.
And I love watching that play because it's just style.
Yeah.
That's just style right there. And he couples that with actual insane skill. But yeah, he put on one of the best performances I've seen him play because, a lot of what St. Maximin does is a lot of penetration and a lot of chance creation.
Yeah.
But today especially, he was getting those chances off and they were actually going to players who were wide open. He was actually penetrating, creating space for another player. And City couldn't deal with it, honestly, a lot of the times. Like, if he burnt Walker, or if he burnt Rodri in the midfield or Stones at center back, there was usually a player open that Maximin could find. Yeah. So I was like, damn, he's being really efficient today with his offense. So impressed with him. No, he got the assist on that first goal against Almiron, or with Almiron. Penetrates down that side, cuts back, whips in a ball. Almiron scores it with his fucking thigh. And I was like, okay, game on. 1-1, let's go. And then the rest of the game was it was more of that. And just nonstop, Joelinton was on it. Even Joe Willock, who I think is kind of the weak link in that Newcastle midfield, he was looking pretty good, pretty offensive-minded. Bruno Guimaraes was just so passionate, man. The kid from Atlético Paranaense back in Brazil, and he looked like he was from Newcastle United, man. He was screaming out there. Every goal that Newcastle scored, he was just like kissing the badge. He was like pumping his fist in the air. He was like, damn, he cares.
Yeah.
And you could see that, like, maybe he always dreamt about being in the Prem.
Yeah,
and he's living out his boyhood dream. Yeah. And I was like, damn, that's special right there. He had an excellent game. And then they get off the mark with Callum Wilson getting that awesome second goal.
I love that goal, man. The initial touch to put Stones off of his balance because he was going the other way. And then the finish. Like, it was like a three-toed, almost toe poke type of finish.
Almost a toe poke type of finish, yeah.
Perfectly goes into that right side of the goal, and he goes nuts. The crowd goes nuts. Nuts, man.
Dude. And another assist from St. Maximin. Perfect inside penetration. And the weight of that ball. It looks simple, man, but he's going at top speed.
Yeah.
Going at top speed. He lays the perfect ball to Wilson. Beautiful goal. Crowd goes wild. It's 2-1. Newcastle have turned it against the champs. Yeah. They turn it on their heads. Second half, little foul, top of the box, 23 yards out. Kieran Trippier, ex-Atletico Madrid.
Ex-Colchonero.
Ex-Colchonero steps up.
This is what he does.
And he just slides it home. Side net. He does the opposite of what most people do. Instead of going directly over the wall, he goes diagonal. And it catches Ederson off guard just for a slight moment. And the free kick itself was so perfect. Yep. Side netting, goal.
We've never seen Ederson make a save.
That's true.
This is one of those
football
games
conspiracy theories.
I feel like we've never seen him make a save. Yeah, no, beautiful finish. Beautiful finish. Love a good free kick finish. Crowd goes nuts once again. Yeah. Jesus, man, what a packed stadium too.
Oh my god.
You notice that?
Dude.
It's just not a single empty seat in that stadium.
I'm moving to Newcastle. I want season tickets, bro. Holy shit.
3-1.
3-1. And at this point, there's 30 minutes left. And I'm like, okay. This is looking really, really, really good. I truly, in that moment, I thought they were going to pull it off. But then, 8 minutes later, maybe even 5, Haaland gets on the board. Yeah. Cross over the top, goes deep, bobbles a little bit, finds its way to Haaland, and Erling puts it home. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, This is Manchester City.
Yep.
This is Manchester City. Newcastle playing.
Manchester City.
Yeah, City. This ain't no regular team.
Yeah, man.
And once that second goal went, I was like, okay. I was like, there's 25 minutes left. There's a lot of time left. Yeah. And at that point, I was like, anything goes now. Yeah. Like, anything goes. Eventually, they would equalize with an insane ball from genius maestro Kevin De Bruyne.
What the fuck was that, man?
Megged Willock.
I know.
Embarrassed the boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He exposed him so badly in that spot. Man. He was just the sole player in that position. Yeah. Gets megged on the way to the fucking beautiful finish from
Bernardo Silva.
But that pass, man. I know it's genius when I'm watching it from a wide camera view, and even I don't see that pass coming. Yeah. When I see him send that ball, and I'm like, for a second, I'm like, where's that ball going? Yeah. And then I see it actually end up at a player's feet. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Yeah. Because once you're on the field, it's a different fucking game. Oh, you don't see the same shit we see.
No.
And He saw that, bro. He really saw that.
He saw it, bro.
And with the confidence and calmness that he sends that ball in, like he knows it's gonna work.
God.
It's weird now. He's like ascended. His game has ascended another level where a lot of his moves he does with the confidence that he knows it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And that's when I think that's a special phase that players go through. You see it with Messi at times too, where there's just confidence. It's just they make it look so easy to the point that you feel like you can do it.
Yeah.
And then you try it and you realize, holy shit, these guys are fucking legends. That's why they can do it. And De Bruyne is starting to enter that phase, man.
I think so.
He's having an insane
perfect
season.
Way to describe it. Yeah, perfect way to describe it. Because after that moment when that pass went off and Silva put it through, I was like, De Bruyne, man, like
De Bruyne.
I'm gonna miss you. Like I actually got sad. I got really sad because I'm like, I gotta catch every De Bruyne game. Like I
have to. This is
what I've just seen is pure wizardry.
Yeah,
it's
a
magic
player
on the pitch.
at his highest level right now.
At the highest level, one of the true greatest passers of the ball. Yeah. I think maybe we've ever seen, and we just have to appreciate it. You'll be catching me at every City game just to see Kevin now. I swear to God, man.
Yeah.
I can't miss out anymore. I can't. But yeah, 3-3, and honestly, at that point, I thought they were gonna win it. I thought they were gonna go on and beat Newcastle, even though Newcastle were up 3-1 at one point. Surprisingly, Newcastle started getting a little chippy. It's a good move on their part because they break up the game. They frustrate City a little bit. City just can't really get that flow going, and it ends 3-3 in what was, for me, one of the most entertaining games I have seen in a long time.
But that's what's crazy, man. The Premier League, second week, Tottenham, Chelsea, insane game.
Yeah.
Third week, Manchester City, Newcastle, man. Like, they're producing these insane games week in, week out.
Oh, my God.
Masterclasses, man.
Yeah,
amazing stuff.
It really is.
So, shouts out to these two teams, bro.
Shout out, bro. Shout out. Newcastle, I think, are going to have a good season, man. If they play like that, I think Newcastle can actually do some damage and get towards that upper mid-table, bro. Like, truly,
I
truly.
I would love to. They still haven't lost, I think, this season.
They haven't either. Yeah.
God damn, man.
Yeah, man.
The weaker teams in the Prem are starting to become so much stronger, man. Even those mid-table sides are looking really, really strong. I tune into the AFC Champions League. Vissel Kobe, Iniesta's old side, versus Jeonbuk FC from South Korea. So you got a Japanese versus Korean matchup, quarterfinals. I looked into the whole AFC Champions League system, which is really interesting right now. Yeah. It's like regional, right? They like to turn one winner from one region and another one from the other.
Think of it like the NBA or the MLB or the NFL. There's essentially two leagues. The winner of one league and the winner of the other face each other in the final.
Yeah.
It's like Eastern Conference, Western Conference.
Right. But what's crazy is that this region is deciding their winner this week, whereas the other one won't start till like January or February or some shit. It's insane. Yeah. That's like the biggest gap between getting to a final and then playing it. Yeah. That doesn't happen anywhere else.
You're right.
Yeah, that's
pretty
6
fucking
months,
insane.
bro.
Yeah.
It's 6-7 months you got to wait. Jeonbuk completely dominated this game, but they were actually not on the front foot. Vissel Kobe came out firing in the second half, took the lead 1-0. Jeonbuk immediately responds with a beautiful goal from their forward from Gambia, Barrow. Yeah. Barrow comes in and just an incredible finish. And throughout the whole game, I was like, holy shit, man. This guy, like, is a threat in this league. Oh, yeah. This guy is dominating. He's amazing. On the ball, he was always finding open spaces. He was just constantly putting pressure on defenders. And it just had me thinking, like, man, the impact that a foreign player can have on a league, bro. Yeah. Because you get the right foreign player, and that guy can just ruin all ideals and morals and values that those players had. He was not playing like the rest, man. But he was dominating. Yeah. And likewise, you also have Gustavo, the Brazilian, on the right wing as well there. And they actually combined because the game went on to extra time. And Jeonbuk took the lead 2-1 off of a beautiful assist from Barrow to Gustavo's head. Finish up 2-1. All those South Koreans come and just fucking congregate around them. They're so happy around them. Like, shit, nice. Finally, the game in like the last minute, in the 120th minute, keeper comes up, tries to get his team back into it, but it's a corner kick. Jeonbuk counters, and they actually end up scoring off of it. So 3-1, the game ends. Jeonbuk was by far the better team in this match, and they faced off against Urawa Red Diamonds in the regional final. So it was cool to get a little glimpse of where those guys were at and just what was going on over there, man.
Dang.
That Korean-Japanese touch is not to be taken lightly, man.
Oh, no. Yeah. Obviously watching so many leagues across the world, I always have fun with the idea of like diversity of players in different leagues. And, specifically I was watching African Champions League last year. And I saw a lot of Egyptian football. I saw a lot of like Moroccan football. And I was like, damn, Mexican players would have so much fun in the Egyptian league.
Ooh.
Because similar to kind of how you describe Korea, the Egyptian league is actually a very technical league. They kind of emphasize passing more than scoring, honestly. Same with Morocco. They really emphasize build-up. And if you could just insert a Mexican winger, that would add a lot more flair, and that would just add a lot more offensive prowess to their to the whole like offensive unit that these Egyptian clubs has. Because one of my biggest criticisms of like Egyptian and Moroccan football is that they kind of lack that finishing touch. The passing's really good, the technique's really good, but there's no flair. There's no finishing. There's no like true goal scorers, if you will, coming out of Africa. But if you were just to insert like these offensive Mexican-minded players that would come from like Liga MX and put them in Egypt, they would combine a Mexican and an Egyptian to make like a really good team.
Bro, send Antuna up there, man.
Yeah, man.
Send him up there. I think
stuff like that.
Get him up there, man. Get him involved. I mean, you got Orbelin Pineda in Greece.
Yeah,
maybe that's a
there
similar
you go.
type of thing.
That's a similar type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, because it's just different styles of football, and you bring them together. Maybe it won't work, but sometimes when it does work, man, it can be deadly. You bring together two cultures, two different ways of playing. You bring them together, it can really stun the rest of the teams that don't have that. Kind of like how you just described with, I guess, this Korean and Japanese team, man, with those two foreigners just going off.
It's so drastic how different in styles they were, but also how that played a role into them ultimately winning the game. Like that was a difference maker, right? Was that they signed these two guys from outside of the country, and they ultimately combined to score the game-winning goal. I was like, holy shit, man!
Yeah,
you make the right moves as a front office person. You see the talent. And if you do it right, man, it can win you leagues. It can win you potentially a Champions League, bro.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And these are guys that have kind of been, I guess, lost within the scope of footballing in their own country. Like Gustavo, who knows what was his journey leading up to this. Or Barrow, too, like in Gambia, how he ended up here. Yeah. But it's cool how both sides kind of win by this, right? One side benefits from it, from them getting trophies and accolades, but the other guys benefit in getting a bigger role, getting trophies, but also just kind of getting the opportunity to become bigger than themselves versus what they would be in like a bigger or tougher league where they'd be a little bit more low key, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
If my kid is any good at soccer, bro,
send him to Korea.
I'm sending his ass to Korea, man.
Oh, he'd love it, man. They got good teachers over there. Another off-kilter game that I saw, if you will. And I say off-kilter because it's outside of the top 5 leagues in Europe and it's not Mexican League or MLS. I saw Portuguese soccer.
Oh, shit.
Portuguese league game. It was Porto against Sporting.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I saw that lineup on the schedule and I was like, let me catch some Portuguese football. Let me see what's going on over there. And let me see. Let me just do a little scout report on the Portuguese players that we might see, come November time for the World Cup. I was just like, let me get an update real quick. And I was excited because, when you think about top 3 teams, you think about Benfica, Porto, and Sporting. No, not in any specific order, but
Braga?
You do
like really pushing for Braga because of Linus. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. As far as like the big 3, you think about those teams. So I was like, great. We got Porto, Sporting. Let me tune in. Let me see what's going on. And from the get-go, it was all Porto, just the whole 90. Sporting had spells of good possession or spells of maybe they looked like they could maybe get a cross in. That's it though. It was all Porto. They did not let Sporting breathe, bro. It was bad from a Sporting perspective. Like Porto dominated this game. It was actually very impressive. I was like, damn, okay. Looks like Sporting's out of title contention, man. And I was a little disappointed, I'll be honest, because, they do have good players. I was excited to see Marcus Edwards finally get this big money move to Sporting. I'm like, okay, good. This is where he can pop off as a player. Couldn't get going, couldn't play this against this Porto defense. You have like cool wingbacks like Pedro Porro, big fan of him since he was at Girona. He didn't really get going. Really, no one got going for Sporting, man. And I was just like, damn. And that just sucks. But from Porto, looking
who
really
do they have
good.
this year?
Really good. Yeah, so I wanted to highlight a couple of players that we know before. First one, maybe not so much. Diogo Costa, the goalkeeper for Porto. And I've been noticing that Fernando Santos, the Portuguese coach, has actually been starting him a lot in these past couple games. Like, I think he played against Macedonia in that big decider. So an interesting point will be for Santos will be, does he go with Rui Patricio, the veteran keeper, or does he go with this new guy, Diogo Costa, who's having a really good season with Porto these past couple years?
Jose Sa.
Jose Sa with Wolves too.
I might start him, man.
No, but
I'm a big Jose Sa fan.
That's my takeaway, though. Costa, good goalkeeper. Catch a
shit.
Porto game because he looks completely confident in between the sticks, man. He actually had 2 really, really good saves where it was like point blank. He had to react quick, get down low, and he did it comfortably. And I was like, I don't know if Patricio can do that right now. I don't know. So maybe Patricio has maybe a higher IQ, maybe, but Diogo Costa has a really good shot stopper. That's what this game told me. So if you're a Portuguese coach, you have good options for goalkeepers right now. Really good options. Second player that I wanted to highlight, and it's one that we all know and love, center back Pepe. Bro, he has not missed a beat since leaving Real Madrid, bro. He has not missed a goddamn beat. He plays with the same fire that he had when he was 19 years old, bro. And that's the thing with Pepe, man, is that it's just in his blood.
Yeah.
That fire, that violence, honestly.
It's not a choice.
It's not a choice.
He just is that way.
If he has a spat with an opponent, he will wish 100 years curse on their family. He will look at them in the eye and say, I hope your kid drops out of college. and then he'll plead with the ref, being like, I didn't say anything. Me? He'll plead with the ref, pleading his innocence. And then he'll shake the player's hand.
He'll dab him up.
He'll dab him up, be like, hey, I didn't mean it. And then with a little smile on his face. That's Pepe. And he'll do that all with his man at 5 minutes, man. He's insane. He's mentally insane. But you need that.
Yeah.
And it's almost poetic justice that a guy like Pepe and Sergio Ramos played together at one point.
Bro.
It's insane that happened because they see the game the same way. Yeah, they really do. I saw that in this game against Sporting. Pepe he loves defending. He loves it, man.
Yeah, he lives for this shit.
He lives for it, bro. So as far as your starting center back for Portugal, you know Pepe's going to be in there. 100%.
Isn't he nearing 40,
regardless of the age. That's what's
like
insane.
39?
That's the thing. Yeah, he's old, bro.
Oh my God.
But
he might be the oldest player at the World Cup.
He might be.
I don't know who else will be older.
But he's damn good. That's the thing. So for sure, Pepe's going to start no matter what, I think, for Santos at back. And then another guy that we highlighted when Portugal played in their World Cup qualifiers, Octavio. Oh my God. I cannot praise this guy enough. The janitor. He's a utility man. He can do anything on that pitch. All you have to do is ask. That's it. And he'll do it.
Yeah.
He was fantastic, man. Drawing fouls, looking like Jack Grealish at times, just dribbling through players, creating chances, 1-2 inner combinations, long balls, through balls, playing out wide at times, or when he wanted to get a little more creative, he'd just stay in the center, waiting for the ball, looking for the ball. I just love the way that he plays the game as a midfielder. Yeah. And he had an A+ game, looked fantastic out there, sweeping across the pitch. I think he actually got the assist on the first goal.
Dirty boy, man.
Octavio, bro, dirty boy. And I hope, and I know he will feature at this World Cup, and I hope he goes off, man. I hope people who don't really get to see him that much, other than maybe Champions League games, I hope that he goes off this tournament, and he will. If he just plays his game, you're gonna see that Octavio's just he's class. He's pure class. So he had an excellent game. Ultimately culminated in an easy win for Porto.
Dang, what was the score?
It was 3-0. 3-0, okay. Really, really easy win for Porto, man. So
Porto Benfica this year.
I was going to say Porto Benfica, although Braga did just get a big win. So maybe that third team isn't Sporting this year. Maybe it's Braga. Yeah, we'll see.
They made big summer moves with the inclusion of Diego Lainez. Who got his assist this week.
He came off the bench,
yeah. Came off the bench, got an assist. So that's good, man. Meanwhile, Marcelo Flores got 70 minutes in Real Oviedo's game. Okay. Second game of the season, the second division of Spain. So,
sure.
Come on now.
Yeah.
But, hey. Speaking of FC Porto, why don't we talk about, I wonder if he's considered a legend there. Probably not. But a really damn good player for FC Porto, Jesus Corona.
Oh God,
Jesus Corona.
Jesus!
Yeah, I didn't think it was
we're gonna talk
there.
about this.
I didn't think it was gonna go there. My transitions have been harsh today,
Oh,
man. I've been
this is-
transitioning hard today. We're transitioning over to Jesus Corona, who has been declared unable to be at the 2022 FIFA World Cup for Mexico through an injury. He won't be back till like December. Mexico loses one of their most important wingers.
Oh yeah.
And we must talk about what this means for the squad going forward as we near this World Cup, man. It's right around the corner, man.
Right around the corner.
And he was one of the mainstay players for us this whole process, really not losing his spot when needed.
No.
And he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I was really, really sad when I heard the news because just in general, out of the 32 teams, there's always one star, whether it's a Ghanaian player, whether it's a Portuguese player, whether it's a Korean player. There's always one player that gets injured right before the tournament. One star player. And this time it fell in Mexico's lap. It's Corona is the injured player.
Yeah.
So far,
Might
and
be
that's the thing.
piling up. Yeah, this might be the one. Yeah.
It might be one of many.
Ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this is a big one, especially when you take it in context.
Yes.
Mexico's front three, as we've obviously said a lot on this podcast, has been a little stale for these last, let's say, 18 months. And missing out on a guy like Corona is just not going to make the job easier for Martino. It's just not. Because at the very least, Martino could pick his front three and then mess with the rest of the team. Right? At the very least, he says, Corona, you're starting. I don't have to worry about you because you just do your thing. And at the very least, it'll benefit us in some way. Now that's gone. Now he has to actually think, who is going to be my best replacement? Because I don't think it's apparent, honestly. There might be some clear choices, but even then, are they going to give you the same thing that Corona could give you? Maybe. But it's going to make Martino have to really act here. I think he's going to have to make a big decision. Who is going to be a part of that front three now as Corona's replacement? Personally, I don't know.
I think it's Alexis Vega. He's the most similar playing style.
He's the most similar playing style.
He's more informed than any other potential nominee.
Yeah.
Not even that simple. Yeah, I think it's just Alexis Vega. But and what I do like about Vega is that there is a potential there. There's a chance for something special to happen. Whereas the other players that could be nominated for that spot, like, I don't know, you could maybe say Linus, I guess.
You theoretically could.
Antuna,
you could say
but
Antuna.
we kind of know what these players are already.
Right.
And I just don't have the comfortability that I would have with Alexis Vegas right now. He's playing well for Chivas, man.
Yeah, he is.
No.
Absolutely. But I just think at the end of the day,
it's not good enough for
no,
me.
right. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
I just spoke for a full minute, and
I'm not convinced.
Not good enough. Yeah,
I'm just not convinced because I feel like truly, no matter who you put in place, I just know deep down, it's not going to be as good as Corona. Maybe I'm proven wrong on the day. Maybe I'm proven wrong when they play against Poland, when they play against Argentina, and Vega comes on, starts the game, and just has the game of his life. I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe that freshness was needed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to discredit that idea, but just solely from a preferential tactical point of view, I'd go Corona 100 out of 100 times. Like I would never even consider Vega if Corona was healthy. So for me, that's why I'm just like, shit, this is a big blow. For me, this is a huge blow for Mexico.
What hurts a lot for me regarding Corona is his story, man, because I became a big fan of Tecatito when he was at Monterrey, right? Making a name for himself. And then being one of those Mexican players that made the move to Europe pretty early in his career and made himself a home over here. Successful.
Yeah.
Really good, successful career in Europe. And more so just kind of the kind of player he was shaping himself up to be, especially on the international stage. He's had many good moments with Mexico. You were there live when he scored that banger against Venezuela where he took on like 4 or 5 players. Looked like a Mexican Eden Hazard, man.
Yeah.
Breaking through the defense. And I've always been a fan of him, man, because he was a youngin'. I was like, okay, this is like kind of like a similar Chucky-like approach where it's like the hope of a nation lies on these kids' shoulders. You can rely on him for that. He's very good at creating chances. He's skillful on the ball. He's got flair. And, he's got even that kiss tattoo on his neck. He's a little playboy, right? So he's a character. But then the World Cups came, 2018 specifically, and he didn't really start. Not as much as you would hope for because at the time, it was Vela, Chicharito, and Lozano starting, right? So This World Cup to me was building up as Corona's prime chance to have his spot solidified on the Mexican national squad. You look at his age, and I think he's just around the age of 30 now. He's getting close to it.
Yeah.
So he's in his prime.
Yeah, this
he's
is
in
it.
a really good phase right now.
Yeah.
And when I heard the news, I was like, fuck, man. He just lost that. He lost that. And I know that's what's hurting him probably the most right now is the fact that this is
just a chance.
If he's back in 2026, it'll be a much different Corona, man.
Oh,
especially with the how he relies so much on speed, acceleration, on his ability to get past players. That's a tough thing to keep 4 years from now. And so overall, from his career arc, that's what hurts me the most as a Tecatito fan. And then you throw in the fact that this actually is detrimental to the Mexican national squad holistically.
Double down on that.
And I'm like,
sentiment.
God damn it, man.
Yeah.
This sucks. This really does suck. I'm hoping that for the best for Tecatito, if you're out here listening to the Giving Up podcast, I hope you're doing good, man. But in the meantime, I do think the best replacement right now is Alexis Vega. And I'm not so down on that because we do got to have a realistic viewpoint on Corona. Corona's great, but he also, for me, is a little limited at times in what he can achieve. You kind of know what you're getting with Corona nowadays. There was a time where I would watch Corona and I wouldn't know what was coming. Nowadays, I kind of do know. He can get you that assist. He can get you a goal. His finishing can be a little wacky at times, but
it can be pretty wacky.
But his chance creation is good. A guy like Alexis Vega, I don't know yet, and that's I'm big on that. I'm big on the idea of a player of not knowing a player fully. So you give him a chance to show you if they got that dog in them, if they have that ability to just pull something out of nothing.
Right.
I think Alexis Vega might have
that X factor
because he's pulling something out of nothing every goddamn week with this trash ass Chivas squad, man.
Yeah.
So there's something there for me.
Okay. No, I'll believe you on that. And the thing is, I have seen it. He does pop off for Chivas for sure. I don't know. I question the moments on the big stage.
Yeah,
but
I also question if Tata will even start him too.
True. Like truly,
go with Antuna, bro?
Right? Who is Tata actually thinking about? Yeah. When he heard the news, he's like, okay.
Linus? I mean, I really do wonder.
I really do wonder. Yeah. So, when we see that team sheet, maybe in the friendlies, in the build-up, I'm curious to see who's going to be out on that right wing, man. Yeah. Really curious.
Yeah. That was a great question. You know, I've been criticizing Tata so long. Why don't I just make my ideal starting 11? If I was coaching the Mexican national squad, who would I start? You know, I'm tired of just harping on Tata, you know? And I want to put myself in that position.
Put matters into your own hands.
Yeah. And honestly, bro, while I was doing it, I was like, oh, God damn it. This is actually a lot tougher than I thought. It's not so clear cut. We'll start the goalkeeping situation. Tough moments, man, thinking about if it's worth it to start Ochoa or if you should go in with a youngin like Acevedo, right? Tough because Ochoa's getting up there, man.
No, he is.
He's getting up there in the age. And I started really thinking about it, and it's reminding me a lot now of the situation Mexico had the goalkeeping position in 2010. When Mexico, I think it was Javier Aguirre, I think that was the coach, decided to start Conejo Perez, who was like 38 at the time, man. An aged, washed up Conejo Perez starting for the Mexican national team when you had an in-prime Guillermo Ochoa, who was like 23, 24 at the time, or Osvaldo Sanchez, who was like 30. He was at Santos during that time, I think. You had great options, but he chose to go with Conejo.
Right.
And I'm kind of getting a similar, not as exaggerated version right now with Ochoa.
Yeah.
Because I love what Ochoa's done for the national team. I love what he's done. I love what he means to the team. But when you think about it, man, he's done this twice now. He's given us 2 magical goalkeeping World Cups. I just think it ends there. I think the hope that he can do it 3 times is way too much, considering that he's a goalkeeper. His age does affect him a little bit.
It does.
And I just haven't seen the flash that I used to see in Guillermo Ochoa. I don't see that anymore. And so I look over at the complete opposite. I look over at Acevedo, who when I watch him play, he may not make the most amazing saves, but his energy, man. I love his energy. He looks happy to be goalkeeping.
Yeah.
He looks like he looks energetic. He looks aggressive. He looks
ready.
like he's got like the jitters, and I love that. He looks so ready for any moment. When I think about just kind of where these 2 players are at in their careers, I actually want to go with Acevedo, man.
Quick counter. The only reason why I personally would definitely pick Ochoa is because out of all the positions on the field, if you have room for experience, if you have room for a veteran presence, my first pick is goalkeeper. And Ochoa, as you just listed, his numerous accolades on the biggest stage in 2018 and 2014. He is the epitome of what it means to be a Mexican veteran for this Mexican national team squad. So if I'm Martino, I'm saying I need that veteran presence 100%, and I'm going to get that if I start Ochoa. And he knows the ropes. He knows what it's like to fly to a country for a World Cup.
That's true.
He knows what it's like to go to sleep a night before a World Cup game. He knows what it's like to wake up, get into training session, and then ultimately go out and sing that Mexican national anthem. He understands that.
I understand that. Yeah.
He understands that more than anybody.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I can't start anybody else over Ochoa for that reason. But I get what you're saying, though.
Not under my reign.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I get it.
You could be Ochoa's agent right now, and I'm sorry. Not under my squad.
I understand.
For me, though, the most secure spot in this whole national squad is actually at the center back position.
Oh.
I think there's no question here that Cesar Montes has to start for the Mexican national squad. If you look at every other position, there's still some room for options, for alternatives. For me, there's no other choice here. He's all we got.
Right.
We actually haven't lost with him in the lineup, surprisingly. And I think he is the go-to move there. Joining him, partnership. This one I had a tough time with because I just can't find the proper partner for him.
I agree.
I just can't.
I can't.
I look at Araujo, and I see too many flaws. I look at Hector Moreno, I see too much age. And so I end up having to go for the player that has managed to stay in the Serie A for 2 seasons now, Johan Vázquez, who hasn't impressed me. Hasn't really done anything that has really taken me aback.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just the best we have. It's the best that we can offer. So let's go with that. Joining them on the wings is that it actually gets a little bit more fun. There's a lot more options here. But I got to go with the Ajax, the Ajax stud, Jorge Sanchez at right back. That one for me was pretty easy to pick.
Solid.
Yeah. And then on the other side, I'm going with Arteaga, who's had a good start to the season in Belgium with Genk, leading them to first place in the league. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. The top left back in the Belgian league.
Yeah, why not?
Midfield is where it gets tricky, man.
Okay.
It gets tricky. And as of right now, under Reynoso's tenure, right there, pinned in the middle of the midfield, I have Edson Alvarez. Alongside him, Eric Gutierrez. This one's up for debate. And on the right side, I actually had 3 nominees. I had the 2 Pachuca midfielders, Chavez and Sanchez, potentially up for grabs.
Okay.
And Cordova, who's finally playing a little bit better this season with Tigres.
He's solid. I'm talking about the team that's going to beat Argentina.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the midfield that's going to take us to a quarterfinal.
Yep. I'm asking you to make up names now.
I don't know. I don't know if Chavez and Cordova can get that done. I really don't.
Yeah.
So if that's all we have, that sounds more dire than I originally thought. I'm going to be completely honest. Martino's not going to give any of these guys true freedom. Not in the midfield.
Yeah.
They're going to play a specific role. And I guess when you think about that, Cordova is a guy who can play a role. Cordova is a guy who can, you tell him what to do, he can execute it. And he does have the skill set to play. I like Cordova in the midfield. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, if you notice, I completely left out Herrera or Guardado. Completely left them out.
The thing is that I think that has to happen. For me, Guardado's... I don't know how to say this non-disrespectfully. He's done. Yeah. He's done. Yeah. And one of the greatest Mexican midfielders of all time. Yeah. For me, probably the greatest that I think I've ever seen in his prime. But as far as what we have right now, we just can't. No. And then for Herrera, not that he's actually lost a lot of, let's say, skill. Maybe he's lost a little bit of pace, but I feel like his IQ is still there for sure. Like, he can still play at the highest level, 100%. But if you think about a midfield that's going to be dynamic, if you think about a midfield that's going to break lines, that's going to be able to run against a team like Argentina, I think you need youthful midfielders. Yeah. And Herrera, I don't think he'd be able to get that job done.
My thing with Herrera is that I feel that he represents everything that's wrong with the Mexican national team right now. He's almost like, you know how people say, like, the player that's like a coach on the field for a team?
Yeah.
You know, like how you could say, like, Jordan Henderson and Klopp, right? I actually feel like Herrera is that for Tata. And that's bad because I don't like Tata's style. And I feel like Herrera is almost like his representation of the style of football he wants to implement into his national team. I think Herrera represents all of that. And I think that's why that midfield is struggling so much. It's because of his presence more than anything. And so hopefully he can shut me up and score a goal, big-ass goal in the World Cup, and have a moment to himself. But for now, I think he is the biggest problem, honestly, in my opinion, as to why that midfield can be so stale, man.
If I really think about it, especially since you just mentioned Herrera, Chavez and Cordova can be dynamic. They can play good, really, really good football in the center of the park. They really can. The only reason why I'm just a little off-put by that is because they've never done it before. They've never done it for Mexico on the biggest stage. Yeah. So you'd be asking a lot from both Chavez and Cordova to just be like, all right, I know I haven't really played you these last 4 years, but you're here now, and I need you to start, and I need you to get us results. And that's a lot to ask. But I'm not going to say they can't do it. But it's a big ask.
It's a big ask.
It's a big
for
ask.
a World Cup, it absolutely
for a World Cup, it's big.
Yeah.
Like if we had a year, to try this out, I think it'd actually be a good plan. Like let's implement a new, fresh Mexico midfield, and we're starting with Cordova and Chavez alongside Alvarez. I think you say that to me. I'm like, I like this idea. Let's see where this goes. Yeah. But the fact that we're 3 months out, I'm like, I don't know.
Finally, up top. For me, Lozano has his spot secured, no question. Jimenez has a spot secured. A little bit more questions there with Santi Jimenez if he finds his form, and Eni Martin if he continues, bro.
Yeah.
Then we might have to have that discussion. And finally, I have Vega starting on the other wing with Linus behind him. If he'd be open to it. My ideal lineup for Mexico right now is Acevedo at goal. That's right. Jorge Sanchez, Johan Vázquez, Cesar Montes, Gerardo Arteaga, and then
it's insane that you're about to say these three. It's insane.
Well, I'm going to go with something a little bit safer. I'll go Cordova, Alvarez, and then Guti.
Oh,
we didn't mention Guti. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I would go Guti. And then Vega, Jimenez, Lozano. That's what I would offer right now for the Mexican national squad. Let me know what you guys think would be the ideal Mexico starting 11 going into the World Cup, please, because I know that mine already looks a little weird, so I want to hear what y'all have to say. I want to see if y'all's are similar to mine or completely different.
As far as, like, let's say backups to Tecatito, or maybe even a backup to Vega, let's say. Let's say Vega does start. One thing that has just been getting at me for these past couple seasons is the interesting potential of Tigres winger Raymundo Fulgencio.
Talk to me.
There are times when he comes off the bench for Tigres and looks incredible. He looks like maybe like a Linus when Linus was going out for America. And I see that, and you know, talking to you as an avid Mexican national team fan, I'm like, what better stage to kind of pop off at as a youngster than the World Cup? You said Mexicans love to do that, and Mexico national team coaches have had the history of having faith in a young guy to come off the bench just to try to add some energy to the game. And if Fulgencio can maximize his potential, I feel like Fulgencio could kind of be that, if you will, 12th man off the bench to when Mexico need just some sort of wing. Like, Vega's not cutting it.
Yeah.
It's 65th, 70th minute. We need a guy who does not care, a live wire. Fulgencio, I think, could come into play. I think he's 22. Pretty sure he's 22. Okay. But that's the thing, is that the only thing is that it's pure potential at this point. It's not proven. But what also sucks is that Fulgencio just can't get that chance in the Tigres team, because Tigres always have these star players as their offensive line. So it's hard for anybody to get in that winger position at Tigres. So it really is tough to measure the true ability of Fulgencio. But like I said, when he comes off the bench and he just has one of those games, Fulgencio looks really, really good.
Damn.
And so from that perspective of, do we have an X factor? Do we have a guy who's unknown, not proven, that could just come off the bench when we just need something? I feel like Fulgencio might have, but again, it's pure potential. He might have it, but again, it's a risk. But at this point, if you don't have Corona, why not try a risk like that?
Yeah. I think that's what characterizes what Mexico fans think a lot about this team right now is that we know what the team that currently has is. So that's why everyone's asking for, like a Chicharito or like Vela to come back and all these crazy ideas because I think we're all in favor of just trying something out for the sake of potential. This is such a clear ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that as a collective fan base, we all kind of feel the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating.
That's frustrating.
So I'm going to be gone for next week, right? I want to let the viewers know I'm going to be on vacation, right? Going to go vacation on the coast of Portugal, the beautiful seas of Lisbon. And I'm not going to be here. So what I want to do, because we might not be able to get an episode out next week, so I want to make predictions now for something that might be true 2 weeks from now.
Oh, okay.
So to start off, I predict that Real Madrid and Tottenham are going to end up in the same Champions League group.
Okay.
I'm going to predict that.
Dude, that'd be so
That'd be
fun.
kind of cool. I don't know if I've seen that matchup.
Dope.
Yeah.
I want to see that now.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be a little pissed. You got me way too hyped for that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I predict 2 weeks from now, Arsenal still leads the table.
Ooh. Well, I got a little.
Let's go into it.
It's not even a take. So I have this fun little metric that I like to apply every season across the European leagues.
The salt stat.
A little salt stat, if you will. There's no merit in it. There's no statistical backing, but there is a correlation.
Right.
There's an interesting correlation. And the metric is this. If a team wins their first 3 games of the season, they become automatic title contenders. Not just, they'll finish top 4 or, maybe they'll get 3rd place, as they will vie for the title. And across the top 5, and
they have to win.
They win their first 3 games.
They have to win, okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, you could say, well, what if they have an easy schedule? That's the thing. That's why that's what I'm getting at.
It's a salt
stat. But there's a surprising correlation to it. If you start with the Premier League, the only team that is perfect, and the only team that can be perfect right now, Arsenal. And it's interesting because we both had Arsenal in the top 4. I had them in 3rd place. I think you had them in 4th. But through this metric, now again, not saying anything is pure superstition, but I will back it completely.
You're in then.
I think Arsenal, and what's crazy is that the football is looking really good.
It's looking really good.
I think Arsenal are now, for me, complete title contenders.
Oopa.
Yeah. So I love it. I absolutely love it because at the beginning of the season, we had covered, we'd said, I truly thought it was just going to be, once again, City and Liverpool. I knew that Arsenal, Tottenham, maybe even Chelsea to an extent, were going to be right behind them, but I thought it was just going to be City, Liverpool. I'm not going to count Liverpool out just yet. I'm not. I think Klopp's too good for that. I'm not going to count him out just yet. But so if we still include Liverpool, City's definitely looking really good. I'm going to now happily add in Arsenal as a title contender. And I'm actually really glad about this because they're playing electric football.
Elite football.
Elite, bro.
Yeah.
They're looking absolutely incredible. So, yeah, Arsenal... I'm getting excited. I'm getting really excited, bro. Yeah.
Arsenal is ridiculous right now, man.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's actually really crazy how electric they've looked, but how their playing style, man. Dude. It's a mini Man City, bro. But like
even more dynamic,
but in its own way. Yeah,
it's like City still definitely have there's definitely hints of Pep in the sense that like let's just hold on the ball for as long as we can, right? Kind of an homage to that 2010 Barcelona that Pep started, right? Pep likes that style of football. You see it with Man City. It's just a little bit more dynamic than years past because you have elite players like Kevin De Bruyne, right? Or you have a number 9 like Erling Haaland, tricky players like Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Aguirre, the list goes on, right? But at the end of the day, it's a possession-based style of football. Whereas Arsenal, it definitely is possession-based because Arteta does like it that way, but there's just something about it, like you said, like I don't know what the word is, but there's something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just more, maybe it's like possession, but with a more direct attitude. Yeah. It's something like that.
The off-ball movement.
Yeah.
It's weird, bro. When someone's like near that box, when Odegaard's like around that dangerous area, it's like little weasels all around, just running all over. Running like crazy, making insane lines so that Odegaard can just find them and feed them. Same with Jesus. The way he can just get by a player or two and then open it up to a different player is insane.
His dribbling is... I haven't seen him dribble like this ever. Like, I don't know where the hell this was at Man City.
Yeah, for real.
He's become like an elite dribbler all of a sudden. And he's still a good number 9.
Yeah.
So, like, he just added this to his pocketbook?
Yeah.
It's insane.
His hold-up play has really surprised me. He gets the ball pretty high up.
Yeah.
And then he just makes incredible decisions to progress the ball forward and then to find himself in really good positions. That finish against Leicester was insane the other week, man. Where he just popped it over the goalkeeper into the top corner. And then this week, he essentially assisted the Martin Odegaard rebound goal where he like got by 2 guys. I think he passed it off or he shot it. I think he passed it off, and then that shot got saved, and then Odegaard scored. But that all started with Gabriel's
penetration.
With his penetration.
Yeah.
It's stupid what he's doing right now. For me, the top 4 contenders as of right now, in this order, is Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool. As of right now. But this is going to be... We can do this weekly. I'll check back on it.
Let's see
and it's like a little ranking. Yeah, who comes in, who comes out.
Brighton's one week.
Week 8, Brighton. It's like on top. But for now, I think it's that. And I think that once I get the answer that Arsenal can beat a team like Chelsea, beat a team like Tottenham, then they're going up to the top. Especially if they're already on top of the league table by then.
Yeah.
So, I'm very open to this Arsenal squad proving me wrong. And I'm excited to continue seeing them this season.
Oh, bro, me too.
Another prediction I have is Palmeiras face off against Vélez in the final.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that happens. Melgar makes it to the final. They beat Independiente del Valle.
Yep. I caught a Liga MX game this weekend. Monterrey against Tigres in the Rayado Stadium, BBVA Stadium. I just want to say, for sure, 100%, the BBVA Stadium in Monterrey, favorite stadium in Mexico.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, people love it, man.
Internet
loves it. The photos I see from it week in, week out are crazy. At the mountain just overlooking
the
whole
scenery around it. You get that culture of Monterrey as a part of the stadium. And then the stadium itself is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It's like a Premier League stadium. The bleachers are right on top of the pitch. There's no space wasted. And then there's some nice angles. It's almost like the Tottenham Stadium version of Mexico, man.
Okay.
It really is. It's like, in comparison to all the other stadiums, honestly, in Mexico, it's like futuristic.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful stadium. The pitch is beautiful. The lighting's amazing. And when the crowd is lit, it is lit in there, man. And so purely from like an aesthetic, visual point of view, my favorite stadium in Mexico. The game itself against Tigres, stalemate, man.
Fuck.
Neither team wanted it.
Fuck.
It was just one of those things where like the stars didn't align and like just every player was off, man. Really chippy game from the get-go. Nothing happened. Although there was one chance where El Diente Lopez almost scored goal this season, bro. Almost. It was like a 25-yard screamer. Hit the underside of the bar, but didn't bounce
God
in.
damn it.
Yeah.
Damn, that was it then.
That was it.
That was all that could produce. Yeah.
All that game could produce. The rest of the game was just a bunch of nothing, honestly. Like,
God damn it.
It was just one of those games where it's just really tight. Neither team wanted to take any risks. 0-0, and both teams were like, yeah, we're okay with this. Yeah. So, it was an all right game.
Dang, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Monterrey's now on top.
Yeah.
They're now on top.
And that's the thing, I was a little frustrated because Monterrey have been looking great. When they win, Monterrey look fantastic. You have a excellent signing, Rodrigo Aguirre, just looking like a bulldog up top. He's easily their new number 9, replacing Funes Mori, in my opinion. Replacing Janssen is even just from relevancy as far as that's concerned. So Aguirre has been an incredible signing for Monterrey, man. But even he was just off. Gignac barely touched the ball. See, I was a little pissed because there's a lot of firepower on the pitch, but just nothing happened.
God damn it.
But yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is.
So I actually asked our Instagram crowd before the account got deleted. I asked them this question, which was, of the past 8 World Cups, who was the best second place team? 2018 Croatia, 2014 Argentina, 2010 Netherlands, 2006 France, 2002 Germany, 1998 Brazil, 1994 Italy, 1990 Argentina. Which of those 8 teams is the best? And so I had a poll. I mixed them up. I made a quarterfinals bracket, and I had a poll that proposed to all our thousands of followers who is the best team. And here's how it panned out. 2018 Croatia versus 1990 Argentina. 1990 Argentina took it, which kind of hurt me a little bit, man. I thought I feel like that 2018 Croatia team hasn't aged well in footballing memory. I think I've been kind of just run them off as like a team that was just on a run, a team that was just like a Cinderella type of team, which they were in some sense. But there was a lot of talent that meshed well with that team, man. The reason they were so good was so much chemistry was involved, man. Yeah. Not so much that they were lucky, but that they knew how to play with each other really well. And that deserves credit, man. So that kind of hurt me. 1990 Argentina, I didn't watch them, so I don't actually know. But based off of the Maradona documentary I saw, it did look like a fun Argentina team that ultimately couldn't win it. So they win that matchup. Then it was 2006 France against 2002 Germany. And 2006 France took it in a landslide, which I was okay with because I'm big on the 2006 French team. Yep. Penalty shootout away from winning the tournament, almost had it, whereas 2002 Germany lost 2-0 to Brazil in the final. 2014 Argentina against 1994 Italy. This was a fun matchup that saw the Messi fans and the Argentina fans flood the pool and bring Messi home. 2014 Argentina won this one. But I also had a lot of people that watched that 1994 World Cup hit me up and be like, hey, man, that Italy team was fun to watch. Okay. They were fun to watch. 2014 Argentina goes on, leaving 2010 Netherlands against 1998 Brazil. The 1998 Brazil team lost to France 3-0 in France in that World Cup, whereas 2010 Netherlands lost against the magical tiki-taka Spanish side. Right. The voters selected 1998 Brazil to win that matchup. Okay. Surprised me, honestly, because I thought that football fans thought more highly of the 2010 Netherlands squad, man. That team to me was so good.
They were like the 2014 Germany team, just as far as like how ruthless they were or just how organized they were, man. I didn't like the team just from like a preferential point of view. So every time that they played, I just by default rooted for the opposing team. And every time I'm just like, we can't beat them. We can't beat them. And yeah, so that 2010 Dutch team was something else.
Yeah. I mean, the names on that team, Van Persie, Robin, Schneider, like you had them all at their peak. And they took it to that Spanish team too, man. Went to extra time. They could have won it as well.
They could have won
it. If Robin finishes that chance, man. Yeah. We could be talking about 2010 Spain in this bracket, man.
Exactly, bro.
But the people went with 1998 Brazil. Sure. I mean, you got legends on that squad, so it's understandable. We move on. Semifinals. This is where it gets fun. 1998 Brazil against 1990 Argentina. Both teams that I didn't see.
An OG matchup.
Yeah, an OG matchup that I have no idea I didn't see it. I was like 3 years old when Brazil played. So the winner was 1998 Brazil. It wasn't very close, so it was interesting to see.
Trust it.
Yeah, the Brazilians came through. The Brazilians showed up to the polls, and they pulled Ronaldo's Brazil through to the final. And who did they meet? They faced off against the winner of my favorite matchup of this bracket, 2006 France versus 2014 Argentina. Think about it, man. Let's think about this. Of those two teams in a one-off game in the World Cup, who would win that matchup?
Yeah.
When I really think about it, dude, when I think about the names, the players that surrounded each other, the way they all played, I can't help but think that 2006 France beats 2014 Argentina.
Sure.
Because for me, a lot of what Argentina did that was special was the one and only, the GOAT. Lionel Messi's performance in that tournament was incredible. Yeah. He had a good surrounding cast, but that was kind of it. It wasn't amazing like how the French surrounding cast was. Ultimately, took a team, an Italian 2006 squad, to the final. Yeah. And so I'm just left thinking like, maybe it's just preferential, but I would have gone with 2006 France. The fans thought otherwise.
Oh, yeah?
They went with 2014 Argentina.
I'm okay with it, just simply because of the one and only Leo Messi. I feel like that's just an argument you can always use, and it's a fair one.
I'll put my hands up to that one. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But you are right. Your point is, in my opinion,
I think they were
completely correct. Yeah. I think Argentina as a squad in 2014 probably not as well built as that 2006 French team. 100%.
My opinion.
But yeah, I think it's Leo Messi, man. And I think that ultimately that's probably what came into play when that poll came out.
So the final ended up with 2014 Argentina versus 1998 Brazil.
Jesus.
And you got to love a good Brazil-Argentina matchup no matter what the context.
Yeah.
And so I was actually really
pong.
intrigued because we have a big Brazilian contingent and a big Argentine contingent following us. And so I was like, okay, these two are about to go head to head. The poll ended up at 51% to 49% split.
Oh, so the game would go into penalties.
And essentially.
All right.
It's actually pretty ridiculous,
There's
the results.
no real winner.
And it saw 1998 Brazil come out on top.
Sure.
Barely.
All right.
Barely. The Give and Go viewers selected 1998 Brazil as the top second place team of the last 8 World Cups.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a fun little thing to do because I was just wondering this myself the other day. I was like, I wonder who it is. Let me just try this out with our viewers. And it seemed like everyone got involved. Everyone enjoyed it. And so it was actually kind of cool because I got to learn more about each squad as well. So
You know what's crazy, though? If I really, really, really think about this, probably the 2018 Croatian team is probably the best second-place team out of all the ones we just named. Probably.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, nah.
I think so.
No.
Yeah, because I think so.
Why?
Yeah, because of how do I say this? The true quality that team had.
Mm-hmm.
True quality. Brozovic, Modric in the midfield dominated every game that they played in. Dominated. And then up top you have probably the two most underrated players in Europe, maybe in these past 10 years, and Ivan Perisic and Mario Mandzukic.
Yeah, Mandzukic
especially,
oh
bro.
My God.
I don't hear anybody and say anything about those two players, good or bad, which is a good thing. No one hates on these guys because they do respect how good they are. But man, Ivan Perisic, I think, is probably one of the most underrated wingers of the modern game. I really do think so. And he was instrumental in getting this Croatian team firing. And then at the back, you just had good guys, Domagoj Vida, just doing the job that he's been doing for years at the back for Croatia. And when you think about teams, when you think about an 11, that Croatian team was really special, man. Mm-hmm. And they didn't really rely on any one guy. You could say Luka Modric, and I think that would be fair to say because he was instrumental in getting Croatia all the way to this final. But if I had to pit them against 2014 Argentina, I think Croatia win it. I think not easily, but I think they're the better team. 2010 Dutch that'd be an interesting one.
I was gonna say to me it's not 2014 Argentina that's up there. For me, 2010 Netherlands is one I'm big on. I'm big on that one.
I think that'd be a big one. And then of course after that, when we talking about 2002, 98, 94, and 90, it really is hard for me to say. So I actually don't know how good that 98 Brazil team was. Maybe they're fucking incredible. Yeah. And if they were, sure, maybe they beat Croatia. But as far as the modern game is concerned, I can't see that 2014 Argentine team beating that Croatian team. I think the Dutch one would be interesting, but ultimately, I just think the Croatian team would be a little bit more organized, a little bit just a little bit better, craftier.
I think that 2010's Netherlands squad would actually beat them because they emulate a lot of the French team that beat Croatia. They got a similar type of player in Mbappe and Robin, electric, dynamic. You got assuredness in the midfield, and you got that solid Dutch defense that they're so well known for. I think that Netherlands would have took it to Croatia, man.
A lot of the successful teams in 2010 actually weren't very prolific in front of goal. But what got them was their midfield and their defense. Kind of similar to Croatia, right? Croatia's offensive line was really effective, but they weren't goal heavy. That's ultimately why they lost against France, because France had firepower in every position. Mm-hmm. Pavard could score a banger if he wanted to.
Oh, and he did.
and he did. And so I think that's ultimately why they would lose to France in 2018. But yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. I know it's a hot take, but I also have a hot take of I think that 2018 French team is probably one of the greatest World Cup teams of all time. And I know people refuse to believe that because it has Kylian Mbappe on the team.
Fans, I want to know. 2010 Netherlands against 2018 Croatia. Let me know what y'all think.
Kind of like how you're saying how you kind of had to rely on people's almost nostalgia to see how good a team was. That's the problem, is that people really do rely on nostalgia. I remember in one of our earlier videos, we were really praising this Brazilian team, this 2022 Brazilian team. And I remember we got so many comments of people saying the 2010 Brazil team would have ran this team. And I'm like, what? You're going to say Robinho's better than Vinicius Jr. That's what you're saying to me. I think pound for pound, this current Brazilian team is probably the best Brazilian team since 2002. And I know a lot of people like, oh, well, 2010 had Kaká. Sure, Kaká was fantastic. One of the best players of his generation between 2005 and 2010. But as a whole, the Brazilian team now is miles ahead of what Brazil had 12 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's the thing. So a lot of people are relying on a lot of nostalgia.
The nostalgia factor in football plays a big role, man. With the Brazil specifically, I don't think people like hearing that this is the best team in 20 years for them. But it kind of, at least for now, I'm pretty big on it because we don't know what the ultimate height is for this Brazilian team. We know the heights for those other ones, and none of them were able to make a final.
No, dude.
So you can't tell me that like this team isn't finals worthy, because I do think this Brazilian team is potentially finals bound, man.
Yeah.
They're loaded in their positions. They're playing so well, and they dominated the World qualification system this past time around. Like, give them their credit. Don't wait till 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly.
To then argue that the 2036 team isn't as good as the 2022 team or some bullshit, man. I'm tired of that shit. It's scary because I'm very open-minded. So I'm open to hearing people talk about, nostalgic. Like I had a guy DM me about the 1994 Italian team, and I was believing every word he said to me, man. He was talking about Baggio's incredible inclusion to the squad. Antonio Conte was on that team. He's just telling me all these amazing things about this team, and I'm like, what if this team was just ass? What if they were just ass, bro?
Yeah.
And this guy's just so nostalgic. Maybe he had it. Maybe he found his wife that year, and so he's just super connected to this Italian team.
And I don't blame him then. Jesus.
But he's putting that shit on me, man.
Right.
I'm promoting the game, the sport, the game of football. I'm out here telling people the 1994 Italy team was good when actually they're fucking trash, bro. That's the danger of nostalgia, man. I'll leave it up to the viewers to decide.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, so real quick, I just want to kind of put you on alert. We may have a new star on our hands. And he plays for Napoli.
The Georgian player?
Yeah.
How do you say his name, bro?
Kvaratskhelia. Or
what did you say to me?
or more simply, Kvaradona. yeah. Being dubbed the next big thing, man. He went. Again, it was a lowly side Monza who just got promoted.
Credit, man. Just give him credit.
It was lowly side Monza, but the goals that he put in the back of the net, phenomenal. He looked world class finishes, truly. So I'm gonna keep an eye on him. See how he does for this Napoli team. He literally coming from the Georgian league. I looked at his history, obviously starting in Georgia as a Georgian, but then he moved to Rubin Kazan in Russia for a couple years.
Okay.
And apparently at the time, it was lauded as like a really good signing because he just went off immediately in Russia. Obviously for pretty good money because Georgian players just aren't that expensive. And he had 3 good seasons there, but then due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, he was just like, you know what, let me just go back home so I can just get regular playing time again, right? So he signs for Dinamo Batumi, I think is how you pronounce it. Plays there for like half a season, and then in this offseason, Napoli signed him. And just off the bat, it's only been 2 games in Italy, but has gone off, man. Just first time like in the top 5 league, and it's like he's been playing there for years. Looking really good, silky on the ball, but he's clever. He's really clever, man. Really skilled. So I'm really hyped, honestly, because it's seriously, like, it is not often we get a player from like this side of the world to have this type of like skill level, like this high, like this high, like an Eastern European, almost Middle Eastern type of region. Yeah. So really excited for this kid, man, because he's got all the support that I can give him. I want him to go off, and if he ends up being what Napoli need him to be, this would be huge, man. Imagine another star just out of nowhere comes up for Napoli just like that.
I think he has like 3 goals already. No?
Already, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, he scored on his debut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And what's cool, Napoli might be a contender for the title as well if they win their next game. No, according to your rule.
According to my rule. So watch out. You know what's funny is that I remember that there was one comment that said, "Hey, watch out for this guy."
Yeah.
And I wonder if it was this guy.
I thought it was the other one, the Chris Cavelli or something like that. He's like a goalkeeper.
Oh, okay.
He plays at a top 5 league. Georgi Mamardashvili.
Oh, Valencia.
For Valencia. That's who it is. Yeah, and he's young, 21 years old. Holy shit, I just realized Valencia has the bat symbol on their fucking logo. Mm-hmm. That's dope.
Yeah.
Actually, on the same topic about players that escaped Ukraine to find new homes and new clubs to play at, one player that caught my eye this weekend went through the same thing. Brazilian-born Tete from playing for Leon now.
Yeah.
They just signed him from It was a Ukrainian club. I don't remember who.
Yeah, I think it was Shakhtar.
Shakhtar?
Yeah.
Yeah. He comes in and he scores a goal. I saw him midweek last week. And I was watching this Lyon squad and, was just thinking some thoughts because PSG is going to run this league, right? They're most likely the favorites to win.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at the potential nominees for a surprise.
Right.
And I was watching this Lyon game and, dude, they're actually very stacked in terms of notable names.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to say a few for the viewers.
Go ahead.
They just acquired Tagliafico from Ajax.
Saw that.
The Argentine. Reliable. I love his force. I love how he plays. And he even scored a goal as well. Lacazette.
Who's back.
Who's back.
He's back.
And I think I was a little hesitant with Lacazette, right? Because Lacazette, towards the end of his Arsenal tenure, not looking too good.
Mm-mm.
But I saw one game of him in League One, and it's crazy seeing how comfortable a player is when he's back at home, bro.
Dude, this is his league. The French
should have never
league,
left.
He should have never left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have Lacazette up top, responsible for scoring goals for you. You got one of my favorite players in world football, 24-year-old Lucas Paqueta, man.
Oh, yeah.
Love how he plays.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich, ex-Bayern Munich, Tolisso, back with Lyon now for his second tenure, man.
That.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of, honestly, a little disappointed because I was like, damn, I thought Tolisso was going to be the next best midfielder for Bayern, but just never, he played. I mean, they trusted him. He's an excellent footballer, but never fully broke into the team.
Yeah. Yeah, he's at that Lyon level. I think that's where he's at.
The thing is, he's like Lacazette. He's probably going to go off.
Yeah.
He's going to be happy in the French league.
And then to me, probably the best player when he's on it is Toko Ekambi for this Lyon squad. Up there up front. And so those are some notable names. And then you throw in Tete, who just got included to the squad as well. I think Lyon was the second most active team in the French league this offseason outside of PSG, of course.
Okay.
So it's good to see them make moves that I think are actually really good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to challenge PSG for the title, but they'll probably be the toughest team for them to beat this season.
Yeah.
And that's something worth watching because the other ones like Marseille, I think they're dropping off in quality.
Lille's dropping off.
Lille's dropping off as well.
Yeah.
Monaco is nowhere to be seen nowadays. Nantes showed in the cup game that they don't have what it takes.
They don't.
I saw Lens is up there right now with 2 games and 1 tie.
I was going to say.
Whoa.
This Lens team, they're actually pretty good. I saw them play this last weekend because I saw their highlights in the first week, and I was like, damn, because they went off in that first game, just in front of their home crowd, and they just had guys making nonstop runs. I was like, okay, this is a fun team to watch at the very least. So I saw that they won that game. They tied their second game. I was like, okay, well, damn it. But then they went off again. I think they won 4-1 in this last game. So a high-scoring team. A high-scoring team, very dynamic offense, a lot of runs, and they have the skill set to do something. That's the thing, you have to go the whole way, 38 game season, so it's going to be tough. But so far, Lens have gotten off to a great start, man. Great start. So I'll be interested to see what they do against top 5 sides in France.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have the ability to surprise because there's a criteria I have for that special team that could maybe pop off is that I have to not know a single one of their players. And when I looked at their lineup, I didn't know a single fucking player, man. A single one. I was like, oh, this could be the Lille team of 2018 or some shit.
Yes, dude.
Because at the time, I didn't know any of those Lille players. So, I mean, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
It's true X Factor.
Yeah.
It really is. And they've just all come together, and they're all in form right now.
Yeah.
So I obviously it's very, very early, but I'll be keeping an eye on them for sure.
Keep an eye on Lyon, bro. That's where you need to be. That's where your eyes need to be looking, man.
Yeah, because realistically, Lyon will probably have a better chance of true title contention with PSG.
I think they're gonna be a little fun this year, man.
Yeah,
trust.
Yeah. You know who scored this weekend in Germany? Jordan Pefok, U.S. men's national team striker for Union Berlin, who got off to a great start. Incredible atmosphere in Berlin, man. Like a really cool stadium. It's like their red jerseys are really like it's like very stark. It's like in your face almost type of red color. It's not warm. It's like a little aggressive.
It's like propaganda.
There's something like really aggressive about their shade of red that they wear. And it's like seeing the whole stadium like that, kind of scary if you're an opponent. Like it's kind of scary.
Okay. Like it's blood.
There's like
it's like blood.
Honestly,
it reminds you of blood.
There's a true atmosphere at those games, and Berlin have gotten off to a flying start, 7 points out of their first 3 games, so 2 wins and a draw. and PFOC.
PFOC,
man. It's really interesting because when we're talking about Mexican national team lineups, right? We could kind of have a small little parallel, just real quick, about the offensive choices that is at the disposal for Greg Berhalter, man. For a while, I thought it was going to be Jesus Ferreira, the FC Dallas striker, as the new guy that's going to be starting that number 9 position for the U.S. men's national team's offensive line. Yeah. Because there was a time when Pepe was the go-to guy, but ever since his move to Augsburg, man, he's not seeing the pitch a lot. He's just not. So it's going to be tough for Berhalter to justify starting him. Yeah. And not only that, it's easier to start Ferreira over Pepe because Ferreira's been great for the U.S., man. He's been fantastic as their number 9. But PFOC has gotten off to a really, really good start in Germany, making the move from Switzerland from young boys to Berlin. Berlin right now flying high. And PFOC, I think, has 2 goals. I think. Either that or he has a goal and assist at the very least. If he continues this for the next, even just a month, right, keeps being involved offensively for Berlin, I think Berhalter is actually going to have a pretty tough decision because if you have a guy who's consistent in the MLS versus a guy who's scoring in the Bundesliga, I might go with the Bundesliga option, man. Honestly.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think you got to see him play.
So. No, I have. When he's with the U.S. national squad, the chances he's gotten, he hasn't looked good, man.
And that's the only
problem.
He
doesn't look as creative.
That's the only problem is that it might be one of those cases where he just can't fit into the U.S.'s system. Yeah. He's perfect for Berlin. Perfect. But maybe he just cannot translate it to the way Berhalter wants to play. But still, if I'm Berhalter and I'm seeing PFOC score or assist once a week, I have to be like, look.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely.
I gotta not only bring him, but I gotta consider maybe even giving some serious playing time because I feel like that type of influential play in the Bundesliga way, way more valuable than playing in the MLS. Mm-hmm. So now, if he was just involved, not scoring or assisting, then I'm picking Ferreira every day. But yeah, like Pepe. Yeah. Pepe's not involved at all with Augsburg. Yeah, sure, he's there, he's training, he's not involved. Yeah. PFOC is truly, genuinely a part of Berlin's offense. And so if he just keeps this up, man, I low-key would want to see PFOC probably start over Ferreira solely because at that point I might trust him in these big, high-octane games in the World Cup. But again, Ferreira, I think it's a tough choice still, though. It's a tough choice.
Yeah, but regardless, he's worthy of a call-up.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah, for sure.
But with a call-up comes the chance to potentially, like you said, Berhalter's going to have to answer that question soon, but that question might answer itself. We might see Jesus Ferreira go blank, shoot fucking blanks leading up to the tournament or maybe even that first game of the tournament. Yeah. And he might have to look over to PFOC as that backup option.
It's very true.
We've seen it happen on the international stage where they'll ride the hot hand like no other, man.
You're right, dude.
No
You're
other.
Right, man.
So PFOC has that chance. I'll give that to him. And I definitely could see him somehow finagling his way into the starting position of the national squad. But as of right now, the way that things have been set up and the way that I've seen the U.S. shape up their squad, for me, it's Jesus Ferreira's spot to lose. And if he keeps scoring in that MLS, I think that's his no matter what. Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. It's funny because you just reminded me of. Do you remember Denis Cheryshev for Russia?
Yeah.
Wasn't in the starting 11.
Right,
by the grace of God, comes on due to an injury and got that hot hand. And the coach was like, "You're playing every single goddamn minute,
fucking game, dude. Every single one." Yeah. I bet we could make a whole list of World Cup players.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And PFOC might be that guy, especially if he's in form.
He could be that guy for the U.S.
Yeah.
That's all for this week, folks. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us once again. The Give and Go with Reynoso and...
No, I wasn't ready. Sorry.
Reynoso and...
Soltero.
And also, we will not be having an episode next week with me being gone. So be aware of that. But we will be back in a couple of weeks to jumpstart this new phase of Give and Go. What was it?
No, we're not saying that. We're not using that.
What was it?
I disagree.
Remember?
No, we're not doing that.
To go and give
it's not
to
funny.
give and go?
No, I refuse
and to give
use
and
that
go.
as a real.
We'll catch you guys next time, yeah?